All right, welcome back.
We live?
Yeah, we're live.
Oh, all right.
Episode
Here we
3.
go. Number 3.
Yeah. For those of
In
you
the
who
books.
watch.
Yeah.
This is first camera. It'll soon be our camera number 2, different angle. Don't know.
It's a work in progress.
Yeah. We got to figure some technical stuff out. The two most technologically advanced people working a podcast.
We are pretty bad.
Yeah. All right.
A few minor problems.
Yeah. Well, first thing I was wanting to talk about, because I just saw it on my fancy book collection over there. You can't really see because Chris is in the way.
Got a big head, guys.
Yeah. Is the book, is it All Quiet on the Western Front?
Oh, you're telling me about that. I still haven't read that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's sitting right there. You'll never get it from me. Or maybe. I don't know. But
You slip it in my bag when I leave.
Yeah. My buddy, who I got that book from, told me it was on the front of it, it says it's the greatest war novel of all time. And I was like, BS. And he's like, I don't know, dude. Like, it's a pretty good
Pretty
book.
alright, huh?
Yeah, and he's a hard man to impress. Yeah,
One of those guys.
Yeah, and then I read it, and I was like, no shit, that's the greatest war novel I've ever read.
It's pretty good, huh? What are we talking about here?
It's a veteran of World War I wrote fiction, nonfiction story about World War I. Different lives and such. But it's a really good book. It is a really good book. But yeah, just thought I'd start off with that because that's a good book. Good recommendation. I might start doing that. Recommending some books every few podcasts.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
That fast.
Yeah, no joke. See some people that bust through some books
Yeah.
in 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
Takes me a while.
Yeah. Okay, so the book Tribe, my mom has had my book for 2 weeks now, I think. And she hasn't gotten through a quarter of the way of the book. It's like, okay, I get it. Not your cup of tea. Give it back. I want to reread it.
Yeah. She's going to keep it. You'll never see that book again.
I'll never see that book again.
Isn't it funny to see people like that, man? They borrow something, whatever, and you just never see it again.
Yeah, there's a saying, I don't know who said it. It's never loan a book out you plan on getting back.
That's a good saying.
Mm-hmm.
I think you take that with anything, though. They ain't got to be books.
That's very true.
You loan anybody anything. Loan somebody a tool, man. You never seen that sucker again.
Oh, never. Mm-mm.
That's why you go with it.
Mm-hmm.
Book's a little hard to go with, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Dude, speaking of world wars, totally off topic. What's the deal with the plague in Poland? Have we talked about this?
Yeah, so a lot of the other countries and a lot of the people were hating on Poland because they didn't suffer from the plague, like at all.
Yeah, if you look at a map, Poland's in the middle, and there's, look, speaking of the map, if you can see that white spot right there? Poland was not affected by the plague in any way, but everything around it was just getting slaughtered, dude.
Yeah, that's because of one of their traditions of washing their hands, of being clean. A lot of people at that time didn't think that you needed to wash your hands.
Yeah.
And so
Still today, we
yeah, and still even today. Well, that actually brings up another thing with doctors. The infant mortality rate was sky high back, even within the last, was it the 19th century or the 20th century? I think it was at the turn. Okay, no, technical difficulties. There's a button here.
Someone's messing around.
But I could be wrong. I think it's either in the 19th or 20th century they realized they need to start washing their hands. Because they'd go cut some or amputate somebody's leg and then go deliver a baby, and all those germs from that dude is on his hands still, and he went and delivered the baby.
Now the baby
would get
dies.
sick and die, and she would probably die from the infection of whatever was on his hands.
That's insane.
Yeah, and it was, oh my goodness, I don't know the dude's name or the doctor's name. He ended up going into an insane asylum because no one would believe him that there was germs and you needed to wash your hands. Well, he didn't know what germs were, but like, no one believed him that you needed to wash your hands or else people are going to die. And so it was ungentlemanly to wash your hands because it's insinuating that you're unclean. And it's like, well, that is the craziest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
You're delivering a baby, amputating somebody's leg, and then delivering another baby or whatever the case may be. You amputate a leg, don't wash your hands, go to the next dude, amputate his leg. That dude dies from the other dude's infection, and it's kind of crazy.
But think about it. Okay, totally off topic, but insane asylums, dude. They were just throwing people in there for no reason, man.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
you're doing something weird, man. You can see you later.
Mhm.
Now you're in there with a bunch of people that really are crazy, or whatever.
There-
Can you imagine, dude? There's
that-
no way.
That would suck so bad. So, I think it was at the last century. That was an insane time to go to an asylum because they just thought that you were like the craziest, one of the crazies. They didn't think of you as a human. They thought you were an insane person, and so they'd experiment on you. And I don't know when they realized. I think it was in the 60s. Up until the 60s, they thought the Rorschach test could tell if you're insane
Crazy
or
or not?
Yeah. It's like, those are just freaking pictures on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
F off. I'm not insane. So
Yeah, but if you failed that, you were just, see you later, buddy.
Yeah.
See, and the next thing you know, your total world's upside down.
You'd get thrown into an asylum for any sort of craziness
It's nuts,
that you
dude.
thought.
Yeah.
I don't have any examples off the top of my head, but one crazy thing that asylums allowed was this doctor. I say that very loosely because he wasn't, but his name was Dr. Lobotomy, and he'd go to asylum to asylum to asylum, lobotomizing people, saying that was going to cure their insanity.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's like, okay, yeah, just lobotomize somebody's brain. If you don't know what a lobotomy is, they stick something into your brain and turn it to mush. So you could either live or die. You probably would want to die.
Oh, after that? Yeah, you got to.
Yeah. That's insane.
All right, I'm going to go off topic again.
Okay.
I heard this good saying, we're talking about brains. How people always relate, like, your soul to being in your heart,
Yeah.
This guy says, no, it ain't in your heart, it's in your brain.
Mhm.
So I'm sitting here listening to this guy, and he goes on to say that, think about anything in your body. Your heart, we can replace your heart, dude, right now. You can replace your fingers, whatever you want to do. Your brain, though, as soon as you start messing with your brain, dude, you're a totally different person.
Yeah.
You'll never be the same again.
That's true. But one weird thing, I don't know. I find it hard to believe because people say they get possessed, and it's like, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think the mind is stronger than you think. But they say that in some cases, which makes me, okay, if it's not 100%, F off, But with replacement organs, hearts, livers, whatever, they start craving the things that dead person started crave or would always crave.
I don't know about that.
It's like,
that's a little weird.
That's BS.
Yeah.
You know how many stories people come up with just to get famous?
That's true, too.
Yeah.
What's the deal with people, they get another body part and then they freak out and they get into depression and stuff? You ever heard of that?
I've never heard of that.
Oh, really? That's I guess it's a
Whoa.
big thing. So, recently, some guy he had something real bad wrong with his face, right? And he got a face transplant. Totally different guy, right? And they molded it, do what, I don't know, they can do some crazy stuff these days. But he spiraled into depression because it wasn't him. He knew that wasn't him, and you know what I mean? He freaked out. And I've heard of other people where they get, an arm or whatever, an organ, whatever, and they go into depression. And it seems, I get it and I don't.
I could see the face.
The face I could see,
Yeah.
but some of the other
Arm?
stuff, yeah.
Maybe he's depressed because he doesn't have full function, or they don't have full function.
Maybe.
Of their hand.
Could
I'd
be.
be so mad if this was it.
Yeah.
Like, it's still, like, it's alive. It's alive. And
But you can't do nothing.
can't do nothing with it.
Yeah.
You're
You ever,
constantly waving.
You ever watch the package on Netflix?
Hmm.
Extremely raunchy, one of them raunchy comedies.
Yeah.
Really bad, but dude, they do an amputation in there. Guy's
they?
private part.
Oh, man.
Sticking on the wrong guy on accident. Is one of the stupidest movies, but it's actually not.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny, man. Not for kids. Not for kids. But
No, I've never heard of that.
it was a pretty big deal in there for a while. It's like when you pop up, it came up.
Yeah, I have to look into that one.
It's one of them crazy dumb movies, but
Yeah. Jesus. So I had a buddy who asked me to talk about tattoos on the podcast. So I kind of did like 5 minutes of research. So if my information is wrong, blame YouTube. So, a lot of people like to say that, oh, they're the origins of tattoos.
Oh, like a group of people?
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
oh, if you're not this, you shouldn't be even getting tattoos at all, and blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, tattooing has been proven to existed for tens of thousands of years.
Oh, yeah, it's an old thing.
Pretty much as long as we've been alive, we've been tattooing. Well, in this form, we've been tattooing.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many examples of, like, was it 8,000 years ago? Or not even 8,000 years ago. It's further past than that. Like, these dudes in caves that were frozen with tattooing all over their bodies. And it's different from different cultures. So you can't really pin, like, all cultures that are old, I should say, have their tattooing history. So even if it did start from one place, which it probably would have, we have no idea where
it came from. And you're never going to know.
Yeah, but
it's one of those things.
Yeah, the name tattoo came from one of Captain Cook's adventures to Tahiti. They had a word for it. It was tatau. And so we kind of, one of their words. We Englishized their word to be tatau, so we could pronounce it.
Yeah.
And eventually went to tattoo. I always thought it was because it was tattoo. I mean, it might have.
Yeah, it's like the rhythm.
Yeah, it might have. I don't know, but there's a lot of history and whatnot with tattooing in that regard, and with the countries that started it. With Japan, it was kind of frowned upon, and they used it only for prisoners and criminals and such like that.
To separate them?
Mm-hmm. Like,
okay. That's crazy.
Yeah,
so you have a tattoo, you knew he was a
criminal.
criminal.
Like that.
That's insane.
And then during the mid-19th century, they outlawed all tattoos.
In Japan?
Mm-hmm. So if you had a tattoo, you were probably a gangster.
Yeah.
And so, or a yakuza. And so, they weren't legalized until a little after World War II.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think that's pretty intense. How
it is.
Their tattooing art is just so famous, and it's been around for such a short time.
Yeah, it ain't that old.
Scale.
Yeah.
And I guess that's why they still look down upon it in Japan. Whenever I was there, they kind of like look at you all funky if you have tattoos and whatnot.
There's a lot of places like that still.
Yeah.
It's becoming more. Hold on, I gotta start crying over here. Something got to itch. Oh, it's still like today. It's becoming more socially acceptable, but as a whole, you know what I mean. It's still looked down on. In certain places you go to, you still get looked down on. Just like you're saying, Japan. This happens even here in America.
Yeah, there's different places here that they look down on. I mean, that's to go with the culture.
Yeah, people don't understand that though. That's what drives me nuts.
Yeah.
You got this tattoo or whatever, you know it's gonna affect you in some way, but they can't. Oh, you got just because I have it doesn't make you a bad person.
Yeah,
but you got it, and when somebody looks down on you for it, you should expect that.
Yeah, so it's still stigmatized because it's still new, and people that you'd usually get tattoos are usually not the most nice people.
Yeah.
They're not the best for society. We're trying to change that because, I mean, you can't lump everybody into one thing just because they have tattoos. But you have to accept that there are more bad people with tattoos than
that's
than
true
not.
too. People don't accept that either.
Yeah.
And we can say this because, as you can see, Jordan's covered up over there, so it's all right.
I'm not saying I'm a good person.
He's not.
But there's a little tribe that not a lot of people have heard about, but they're called the Picts.
I never even heard of it.
Yeah, they're kind of a forebear to the Scottish people. And I don't know how true this is. This kind of sounds like BS to me, but it'd be cool if it was true. The Romans made this part's true. This part is true. They made their way all the way up to England, and it is 100% fact that they made it there. There's coins in the dirt that they find from Rome, Roman coins and whatnot, Roman gold. But there's Hadrian's Wall or something like that. I think I might be mispronouncing it. But they set up like a giant wall to keep the pigs out, so they can keep, because they're wild people. They're just like savages, I guess. I don't know what you'd call them, but they're these wild people, and they had tattoos all over them. They called them pigs because they had pictures on their skin. See, I don't know. Like, picture, like, do you really think that's ancient Roman or Latin?
Yeah.
I don't know, but it could be. Like I said, I did 5 minutes of research, so don't sue me.
You're gonna get sued.
Yeah, but that's about. Well, so in American culture with tattoos, it's really synonymous with sailors, and a lot of the tattooing came from different traditions within the Navy. Like, there's one called shellbacking. It's where you cross the equator, you get hazed, and you get to get a sea turtle tattoo. I don't know the origins of shellbacking. I should look into it. It's kind of interesting. If you cross the Atlantic, you can get an anchor. If you sell like 2,000 nautical miles or something like that, you can get a sparrow.
Whoa, I didn't know none of this, man. That's crazy.
Yeah. I did. I don't know how far I sailed, but I'm close enough to have the 2 swallows that I have on my arm. So
yeah.
I'm not a
It's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Tattoos, man.
Yeah, but they're pretty interesting with the folklore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of sailors in the military, nice little segue here. I was listening to a very important man. I don't know. Duncan Trussell. Okay, I'll just say it. He's talking about how this is an old talking that he had, and he was talking about the elections between Hillary Clinton and Trump, and he's saying how much of an injustice it is, how no one is talking about the military and the veterans. It's like you go over there, you do all this crazy shit, you see friends go away, you see friends die, and then you come back and then you don't hear anyone. Trump mentioned it probably by accident with the military and veterans, and so it's kind of like, well, what was the reason for all this bullshit? Like, I went over there, sacrificed, and now no one's wanting to talk about it.
Yeah, once you come back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Never thought about that.
Yeah. Girlfriend's walking in, so might change.
Barging in on our podcasting.
Hi. Hi. Thanks for interrupting.
That's what I do.
But yeah, I don't know. Just kind of thought about that today when I was at work for 4 minutes.
Some people don't know, but Jordan don't work very much. He skipped on out of there nice and early today.
So, the reason why I skipped out...
Oh, yeah, that's a good topic right here.
...is I'd gotten a letter in the mail saying I needed insurance for my state. Didn't know I didn't. Didn't know it mattered.
Car insurance.
Car insurance. Didn't know it mattered. Didn't know I didn't. So, I go. It takes forever to get this dealt with. Apparently, I didn't do it in time. So I get pulled over this morning, and the guy says, "Oh yeah, she hasn't heard this story." Fun little topic for later. So I get pulled over this morning, and guy says, "Yeah, your plates or your license or your registration is suspended." I'm like, "What?" That's so weird because I fixed that. And he's like, "I don't understand because your plate or your registration says 2020 when it expires." And I had to explain to him the situation and whatnot, and it just kind of made me mad with the government for one part of this discussion. It made me mad because it's like, who cares what insurance you have? If I get in a crash, my North Carolina insurance is going to pay for the damages.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
I don't get it either.
Why don't we have a countrywide insurance? But he was nice. He let me off. Not even with a warning. You just, oh, okay, just a glitch in the system. Carry on. Have a nice day or whatever. So that was kind of nice because I was respectful. Just saying.
You didn't die?
Yeah, I didn't die. Unfortunately, so no one can protest.
I was planning on looting.
He was younger than me. I'd bet my next paycheck he was younger than me, and I called him sir. I don't necessarily respect the man. I respect the position. Because of that, I didn't even get a written warning. I didn't even get a warning. I was nice. I was respectful. I respected the badge, and I respected the position.
You know what pisses me off? You know what really grinds my gears? Is people in the whole sir. I don't understand, dude.
Some people
Being respectful, man, and you say, thank you, sir, yes, ma'am, whatever, and they get mad, dude. I'm no sir. Are you effing kidding me, dude?
Jeez. Yeah.
And these people want to complain about why the younger generation has no respect. Why are we gonna have respect when you freaking yahoos can't even accept our respect?
Yeah. No, that's a definite. That and like holding doors open, I'll get meanest looks from the older people. I'm like,
yep.
What the heck? Or I'll say good morning or how you doing, and they'll just
they just look at you. Yeah.
I don't know if they're deaf or not. Probably not. They're just being jerks. But you're right. That's
drives me nuts, dude.
You want these kids to have respect, and you can't even show respect back to them.
Yeah. I was at yoga one time, man, and we did our thing. What a weirdest experience of my life, by the way. But we're leaving, and we're paying, whatever, doing our thing. And this guy standing there, a buddy I'm with, man, says, oh, excuse me, sir. And the guy gets mad. I'm no sir. And he's like, mad. Well, my buddy instantly gets mad, and I don't blame him, And he's like, well, I'm sorry, I was raised with respect, And then this guy gets real standoffish, and they're just like staring at it, and it's so awkward. And I'm like, all right, maybe my buddy shouldn't have done that, shouldn't have got so defensive. But at the same time, like, what are you doing, dude? At the time, we're in our early 20s. And this guy's easily in his 60s.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing, dude?
Yeah, no, it's weird.
You just want to take that guy outside and shake him and be like, dude, I don't understand what's wrong with you, man.
Yeah. Well, I get called sir, and it bothers me when I get called sir by older people. It's like, you're the sir. I'm not.
I think it's shifted now to where it's more of just a sign of respect.
Yeah.
And people cannot accept that.
No, they'll say it to me, and I'm not a sir.
Yeah.
Sir. How dare you, sir? It's like, no.
Maybe you should.
Yeah, it's like, the people with the thinnest skin ever. It's like, get over it. Who cares if he called you sir?
Yeah.
Obviously, that's a sign of respect.
Yeah. You should be excited there's actually some decent people left in the world.
Exactly. Like, he was just trying to be nice and courteous to you.
Yeah.
Like, hey, man, I'm not really into the whole sir thing, but thanks or something like that. I don't know.
Even then, we're never going to see that guy again.
Yeah.
We'll never have no interaction with this guy ever again in our life. Take it for what it is and leave.
Yeah. Okay, so he made a sound with his lips. He just, sir,
Yeah.
It's a
and
noise.
You turn it into an ordeal.
Okay, so in his mind, he's like, he could go one of two ways. Obviously, he went the other way, but he could have gone, okay, he called me sir. Chances of me ever seeing him again doesn't look like a yoga goer. I haven't seen him ever in here, so the chances of him coming back slim to none.
Very slim.
I'm just, you know what? I'm just gonna let it slide off.
Yeah.
Just let it slide off. Isn't that the class that you just took? Was to let stress?
That's true. Yeah,
slide
that's a good
off?
point. Yeah.
Well, I think he should have did a.
He didn't pay attention in there,
180
obviously.
And went right back in for class number 2.
It's crazy too, man, because it's not like we call him SOB or something.
Yeah, you're calling him something nice.
It's a decent. I don't understand.
Yeah.
At what point are we going to say thank you to someone and they're going to get offended by it?
You
know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm very terrified of calling somebody sir or ma'am.
Yeah.
Around my
for that
age.
reason.
Yeah, because you don't know.
Yeah, because people get so offended by it.
I was raised to call people sir and ma'am.
There you go.
And now it's kind of scary. Around here, you don't really have that
No,
problem.
you don't, yeah.
Because it's still kind of a smaller town.
Yeah,
City,
get that country
yeah.
vibe to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But, yeah, going back to the whole me getting pulled over. So leading up to this, I had been stressed out at work because of coworkers not being useful. So I was getting mad, letting them get to me. Freaking coming home, screaming, venting.
Yeah.
Not screaming at my girlfriend, just I'd scream about them, and then she would scream about hers. We're just kind of like
back and forth, bickering.
Yeah, like bickering about our coworkers to each other. So we're just
Gossip.
venting to yeah. We're
That's a
gossiping
good word.
with each other, and I was getting super stressed out. And so I was like, man, life sucks. It's all right. Like, life is good, but man, life sucks. And then this happens. It's kind of like the universe coming down. It's like, hey, stupid. Life doesn't suck that bad. You could be in jail right now
That's
for
true.
having suspended license or whatever it may be. You know, hey, you're living in the United States with a job. It pays you
Yeah, you're
decent
doing good.
money. You're not in Africa. You're not in South America. You're not in freaking Colombia having to work for the cartel or die.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of craziness. So I was like, whoa. Kind of made me feel good today.
Brought you back to reality.
Oh, man, it woke me up again. I was like, oh, man.
I think everybody needs that every once in a while.
Yeah, you need to be humbled.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess humbled is a good way.
Humble is a good way to put it. The universe put you in your place.
Mm-hmm.
Got you lined out.
Wake up, dum-dum.
Yeah.
Life ain't bad. You have a nice girl at home. You have a home.
That's true too. Yeah, some people
Yeah.
don't even got a home to go to.
Yeah. You have a car.
You're doing all
Care of
right.
yourself. Yeah.
Totally jumping topics here, but I seen this. I also did my fact checking today.
Mm-hmm.
So I seen this thing, and they say opioids kill more people than car crashes or car accidents.
Yeah.
Never in a million years am I going to believe this, right? I'm thinking, all right, this is just some yahoo talking out there, you know.
Anti-drugs.
Yeah. So I did some fact checking. It's not a lie.
Oh.
It's insane, dude. So let me get my little sheet here. Actually, I carried it with me. I checked these numbers like 4 or 5 times, dude, but there was one site that was totally different than these numbers, and I don't know. It wasn't a credible site,
Yeah.
but you never know. Oh, and I've also found out about gun violence. Not really violence. Let's explain.
Yeah.
So, in 2016, roughly 40,000 people died from motor vehicle incidents, right? 64,000 people died from drug overdoses.
Oh.
Yeah, dude, there's a pretty good gap there.
Man, that's a huge gap.
But this site also included deaths by gun, right? So 39,000 people had firearm-related deaths.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, all right, something's a little crazy here, right? So I started looking into it. A big portion of those 39 people were suicides. So you can't say that's all gun violence because
Yeah.
it was suicides.
Yeah.
But anyways, so then I was like, all right, so what about opioids? How does this play into the opioid thing? Check my little papers here. Hold on. Facts are really hard to find about opioids, and I don't understand why. It's an epidemic, but we're somehow hiding it.
It's because of the FDA.
Drives me nuts.
I'm going to go a little
Anti-FDA,
Yeah,
anti-government.
a little crazy.
In the zone.
Like the bald guy from the movie Red. The government's watching me. So the FDA is prescribing these opioids to people legally. Why? Oh, why? And okay, so the FDA and the government are in bed. Don't care what you think. Has to be true. So if they're in bed together, they're gonna like skew the numbers and make it hard to find because
Yeah.
they're gonna want to try and sell these super addictive drugs to people, and they can't do that
Yeah.
if the government can find out that these. Well, they already know. If they don't know, they shouldn't be in office. But they want to make it harder to find these numbers, and so that's why you're having.
That's
a hard
why it's
time.
hard to find.
Yeah.
Because I looked all over for it. So I'm comparing 2 years here is the problem. So 2016, 40,000 people vehicle deaths, right? And 64,000 people drug overdose. So you can see the gap there, right? And what is that? 24,000 people difference.
Yeah.
24,000 more people died from drug overdoses, right? So in 2015, there was 52,000 people died from drug overdoses, right?
Oh, that's crazy.
Opioids were 20,000 of that. It's huge, dude.
Yeah.
And then that's prescribed, dude. Those are prescribed drugs, dude. The only 12,000 of it were related to heroin, which is also considered an opioid.
Yeah.
So 20,000 people died from prescription drugs.
Yeah.
That's half of the car deaths in 2016.
Yeah. That's insane. Well,
The numbers are crazy to me.
Yeah. One statistic we should find out about that is how many of them were intentional suicides.
You know, I never thought about that. Yeah, because it does say drug overdoses are the largest accidental. How do I explain that? It's like you take a pill and you don't mean to kill yourself, but you end up dying.
Oh, accidental suicides.
It's not.
Yeah.
Is it considered a suicide?
Well, you killed yourself.
I guess. Yeah, you did kill yourself.
A lot of
accidental deaths.
Yeah, a lot of drug users will get hooked on these drugs and go crazy, go off the wall. Like they're, I don't know. I've never done any pills, so hardcore is 5 pills.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like that's just a number I'm coming up with. So they're taking 5 pills and then they get clean, and then they relapse. Like fuck, man, I used to do 5 pills.
Yeah,
I'm
and then
gonna
they die.
Yeah, I'm gonna do 3 pills. Like,
Yeah, that's
whoa,
true.
That's way too much for the entry level dude.
Yeah,
Gonna die.
you're gonna die.
Yeah, like what that's saying.
This is
what you're
saying this is all across the entire board. So any kind of prescription medication, any kind of pills, anything like that, any kind of drug is the highest, kills more people than anything by accident.
Whoa.
I explained that totally weird. Makes sense in my mind though.
No, that makes sense.
Because it can just be if I go to the doctor and I have strep throat and they give me antibiotics, and those antibiotics I'm allergic to and die, that's classified under that.
Yeah. That's so that's craziness right there. Another topic I want to talk about, but no, that makes sense. Like with it kills more people on accident than anything else.
Yeah.
But
They explain it way better than I can explain it. But dude, when you look at the numbers, my mind was blown. I was like, all right, dude, that's a lot of people. Not going to the doctor next time.
And it's crazy is what these doctors get away with.
That's great. That is a good point. Yeah.
So what's her name? The famous singer from Albuquerque, Demi Lovato. I almost said Demi Moore. Demi
Is she
Lovato.
from Albuquerque?
Uh-huh.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, she OD'd, and everybody's like looking for a drug dealer. So it's like, yeah, because they're not government approved or given out by a doctor's note. You have to search down that damn criminal.
Yeah.
The same drugs that doctors are handing out. And so when Heath Ledger died, he died from prescription drugs. That was his own damn fault.
Yeah.
It wasn't the drug dealer's fault. That was his fault.
What's the difference?
Yeah. One weird one that got a lot of traction was when Michael Jackson died. His doctor I think he got indicted.
Oh, yeah. I think he got in a lot of trouble, but he was
Yeah.
doing some shady illegal things.
I think he killed a bunch of celebrities.
Oh, really?
I think, I could be way wrong. I'm probably wrong. But I think
I
he
don't remember
killed,
that.
what's her name? Oh my goodness. Not Marilyn Monroe, obviously. What was her name? She had a TV show. She was blonde. Oh man.
No idea.
I don't remember her name. Dang it. Whatever. I think her son died too. I think her son OD'd as well. It'll come to me later.
At the end of the podcast.
Yeah.
Just gonna shout her name out.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like Bridget or something like that.
The midget?
Bridget the Midget. But with I don't know if you want to continue that.
No, I got way off topic.
Yeah. But those stats are crazy. Those stats are like, dude, stop selling those drugs.
Yeah. It seems
Stop
like
it.
such a simple concept, but it's
Yeah.
not.
These people are ruining their lives.
Mm-hmm.
There's that many deaths. Get rid of it.
Yeah.
Get freaking
So
rid
simple.
of it. Yeah. But they won't because there's so much money in it.
There's a lot of money
There's a
involved
lot
in
of
it.
money. And I think that's why marijuana and mushrooms are illegal, is because they're non-addictive.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there's a lot of health benefits to those two.
There's not enough money involved.
Mm-mm.
I can't believe it's hard for us to discuss because where we're at, the opioid thing is not really a big deal.
Mm-mm.
But when you go back east, certain places, I guess apparently, dude, it's a big freaking deal. So it's hard
Yeah.
for us to touch on it, but I'm just looking into this stuff, and just by looking at the numbers without actually physically seeing the damages, it's insane.
Yeah,
It's nuts.
the numbers. I was watching a documentary. I think it was on YouTube about this coal mining town, and how they're all hooked on Mountain Dew and prescription drugs.
Mountain Dew.
Mm-hmm.
What in the world?
everybody, they're giving it to babies.
That's insane.
Yeah, everyone has all, like, when you're 14 years old and you have 2 teeth, you're lucky. Yeah, I was watching it. I was like, that's crazy. But all of them are hooked on these prescription drugs. And I can't remember why, but these doctors are handing them out like candy. But they're paying as long as their money is
As long
rolling
as they're
in.
paying for it, yep.
How wrong is that?
Yeah,
That should be illegal. That's a drug ring right there.
that's nuts.
That's as bad, if not worse. I think it's worse than the cartels because they're operating above the system in plain view and getting away with it.
That's true, yeah. They're
Yeah.
right out in the open. They're
Yeah.
apparently by the
Yeah,
books.
by the books, they're getting away with it. It's like, that is insane.
Yeah.
Step in there and stop that shit. There's no reason for them to be hooked on these drugs.
Yeah. It's nuts.
It's crazy.
Speaking of Mountain Dew, you see that? Who makes Mountain Dew? Pepsi? Pepsi, right?
I think Pepsi owns it.
Whatever, wherever their plant's at or whatever, one of their plants, they probably have many. They spilt a big old tank of Mountain Dew. I don't know what it was, 5,000 gallons, whatever. I don't think it's that many. Whatever, it was a massive amount, whatever, and it went into the storm drains, right? And they had to pay what is the EPA? Yeah, the EPA to go in there and clean it all out because it was so bad for wherever it went.
Whoa.
They said it very possibly could have ate the pipes or whatever it was going to do, you know
Yeah.
what I mean, and destroy some stuff.
Yeah, no, Mountain Dew.
And
is
we're
one-
drinking that shit like it's going out of style.
Yeah, I used to drink that like crazy. That's one of the worst drinks you could drink. That and Coke. I mean, it's no secret people use Coke to clean their batteries. in
Yeah,
their
it's
cars
true,
and stuff
yeah.
like that. Like, that's insane. Like, you can literally use Coca-Cola to clean your products
That's pretty
around
bad.
your house. That is insane. And you're putting that in your body?
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, yeah.
Say, we're drinking one right now.
Yeah, well,
Not necessarily Coke, but
Coke, but something way better.
that is nuts, dude. People are just drinking. I don't know though, man. Where do you draw the line though? You're only here for so long.
Oh, that
Do
is a
you
good
just
point.
say, "Hey, I'm gonna enjoy myself"?
That's a
Or you can be
very
one of
good
these
point.
crazy people that
Yeah.
doesn't ever indulge.
I saw a meme. I don't know if it's a meme. It's probably a meme. It was like 103-year-old vegan says it wasn't worth it. I'm like, ha ha ha. Well, hey, onto something here. Like, he died and said it wasn't worth being a vegan or something like that. I'm like, that's kind of true. You kind of have to have a hedonistic look at life, or else what is life? You're living like a Puritan
Yeah.
in early America. Like, that sucks.
Yeah.
I say, sorry. Wait. I say, as long as you're not hurting anybody else,
Yeah.
whatever.
To each his own, man.
Yeah.
It's when
Jinx, you owe me a soda.
back to our junior high days. I totally lost my train of thought now. Way off topic. No, as long as you're not trying to push it onto someone else, do whatever you want to do, man.
That's what I say.
Whatever floats your boat.
Yeah.
I think we discussed this on here before.
We might have.
Oh, I don't know.
But what I always say with that is as long as you're not impeding on my rights and the military, do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Whatever you want. But I was wanting to segue from there. The defense budget is roughly $611 billion.
That's a lot of money.
That's insane. Let's consolidate some military branches. Like the Air Force. We don't need the Air Force.
You're going to piss some people off right here.
Ooh, Air Force, you're useless. The Navy has ran, and a Marine, I don't know about the Marine Corps, but the Navy has ran more combat missions since World War II. Or, no. Vietnam. Sorry, since Vietnam than the Air Force has. The Air Force is just,
Hanging out.
it's just a business. Not a business, it's a college. Consolidate it back into the Army or the Marine Corps, because God knows the Marine Corps needs a bigger budget. But consolidate that stuff. Take like $100 billion off of that, and then figure out this homeless population.
$600 billion, dude.
Yep, and it's
Is
going up
insane.
because of the Space Force, which I am
That's right.
totally for. I am so
Space
for
Force.
the Space Force. Get rid of the Air Force and bring on the Space Force.
Speaking of space, you see that International Space Station? They found that hole in there. Whoa.
In the space station?
Yeah, so they find this hole and it's sucking the air out, whatever it's doing. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's real technical. Guy goes over there, sticks his finger on it to plug the hole,
Yeah.
and they end up patching it, whatever. Well, they start looking in this hole, and they're like, oh, well, we're thinking maybe a small meteorite hit it, and punctured it. They start doing more investigation. Well, the hole was drilled from the inside out.
Whoa.
So, yeah, it's crazy. There's all kinds of theories on it now. They don't know if it was done before it went up into space. It was done here. That's the newest thing, is they're saying it was done here, But there's people saying they did it up there. They're sabotaging it. So apparently there's 3 Americans, 2 Russians, and a German on there right now. I didn't know that.
I don't know who would do that.
But there's all kinds of speculations as to why they would do it.
Yeah.
And now they're saying they knew about this, conspiracies before, and that's where the Space Force is coming from. Because now it's going to be a battle, which somewhat makes sense in my mind.
So I can see that's crazy.
Yeah.
But why would they do that?
I don't know.
Why would
That's
they
what I'm
kill
saying.
themselves?
I don't know.
With
For the greater
something.
cause. What's the greater cause, though? There's a lot of people saying one of them got, they wanted to come home because they stay up there for so long. They say if they drill the hole in it, it would cause a state of emergency or whatever it is, and then it would force them to come home. So there's some people saying that could have happened. There's a Russian news agency now. They're saying it happened here on America, or not America, here on Earth. I just classify Earth as America. Go America.
Yeah. Well,
But anyways, yeah, so they're saying it happened here before it shipped up there, and they know the guy that did it, and they're going to get him to, clarify or whatever. I have no idea. But when I started reading on it, I was like, whoa, this is crazy.
that's
Who the heck just drills a freaking hole in the side of the space station?
Yeah. How big
And it's a tiny little hole, man. I couldn't put my pen through it. It's a little tiny hole.
kind of
But apparently it's enough to tear some things up.
I don't know. That's weird.
Yeah, it's becoming... I'd seen it a couple days ago, and I didn't think nothing about it. I thought it was no big deal. Now it's becoming a bigger thing now because they're speculating so many different options, I guess.
I wonder. I can't remember the name of the movie. It's an alien. Alien did it. It's trying to break out and get to Earth.
Could be.
No, that's weird.
That is weird.
That's super weird. How have I not heard of that? No, I don't.
It's
listen to
not
those.
really... I seen it on some science blog or something. I seen it. This is where I originally seen it. Then I seen it again on, I don't know, another science thing.
No, that's so weird.
Yeah.
Why?
We'll have to look into it a little more, figure out what the details are, but it's a wild, crazy thing.
I wonder what their motivation would be for that.
Yeah. That's why a lot of people now that are more like a realist that don't believe in the whole conspiracy thing are saying it happened down here on Earth during the assembly process or whatever, and there was a purpose for it. They just don't know what.
Yeah, what would be the purpose of... Well, how long has that space station been up there?
That's what's weird to me. I would imagine it's been up there for a long time. I'm going to do a little research on this, find out.
Yeah, because that's...
Get back with everybody here.
Yeah, that's weird. Why would somebody... Because that's such a useless thing. Well, how much damage did it do?
None.
See, that's the thing. It's like, okay, you want to start like an international war against Russia and America.
That's what I don't understand, yeah. Yeah. Whatever one of them guys up there discovered it, literally put their finger on it and held it closed or whatever they did until they could get it patched. It's patched up now, and
That's
all right, here's a thought. We're on the space station. There's 7 of us. Random hole pops up. You have been on here for however long, and these are your closest friends at this point, only friends you got. And then one of them just drilled a hole in this thing. What do you do?
That's weird. Yeah.
One of them SOBs is trying to kill you.
Yeah. That's the thing. It's like, what kind of... So they say it happened on Earth.
Yeah,
It's
some
been
people
up
are
there
saying.
for a while.
That's what I'm under.
Why would it be an issue now? So
That's
I
a
think,
very good point.
I think it was somebody up there, and I want to say it's the damn dirty Germans. But
It's that one German lady.
yeah, it's because the German Prime Minister hates Trump. No, that's... You'd have to sit everybody down and be like, seriously, guys.
Yeah, who in the drilled that hole? Nobody's going to confess to that,
No
though.
one is.
That's
you
something
imagine
they're
that?
going to their grave with.
Oh yeah.
So what do you do from that? I'm getting the hell out of there.
Yeah, that'd be.
Calling NASA, get me the heck off this thing
Yeah.
because these suckers are trying to kill me.
Yeah, exactly. That is insane. You know, side thought on that is, how cool is it that we're united in space?
That's a good point.
Like, okay, down here, oh, Russia and America or the United States hate each other.
Yeah,
Blah 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 blah.
we're up there in
China,
space
yeah,
hanging out. Yeah, never thought about that. That's kind
Yeah.
of crazy.
I like that. We need to unite because it's not, in the scheme of things, it's not even planet versus planet. It's part of your universe, part of another universe. We need to like band together. Like there's no official meeting of aliens, but what happens when an alien comes down and we're fighting?
We all hate each other. Yeah.
Like
That may be what it takes to join
one thing.
be one on the same side.
Well, speaking of craziness in the universe, I just found out there's 40, I don't want to say Earth destroyers, but there's 40 asteroids that pass by Earth a week.
Whoa.
Yeah.
All right, I knew some asteroids flew by, but I didn't realize it was that many.
Oh, yes.
Whoa.
Oh, yes. That is insane.
That is a stupid amount.
Mm-hmm. Kind of makes you feel comfortable. 40 a week and we're still not
And
dead.
we're still hanging out.
Yeah,
No
it's
joke. There's one flying by right now.
Yeah, I think we should put our brains together and figure out how to do that. Because we landed a rocket on an asteroid already, which was sweet. Which is actually another topic of discussion because of like the lead scientist or one of the scientists were something super anti-woman or something like that. It was like naked chicks and a bunch of people are freaking out about it. But,
Never heard of that.
Yeah. But now Japan's thinking of doing that. Is landing landing a different satellite on a different
What's our
meter.
What's our thought process behind that?
I don't know. It'd be really cool if we could actually get really good at it, destroy asteroids, and then farm them. Or not farm them. What am I trying to say?
Mine them.
Mine them.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine them for resources.
That'd be kind of cool.
That'd be way cool.
We can do it, dude.
Mhm.
I seen Bruce Willis do it. Armageddon. He
Yeah.
blew that asteroid right in half.
Yes, he did. Goddamn hero.
One of the greatest movies ever, by the way. People hate that movie, and I don't know why. I've seen it
love
1,000 times, and I'll still watch it again.
Oh man, I don't know if we talked about this on the podcast, but in 2012, December 24th or 25th, 26th, the world was supposed to end because the Mayan calendar ended.
Yeah, I think we did discuss this at one point.
Did we?
We've had so many random conversations. A lot of
Well,
them have not been on this podcast,
yeah.
but
Well, if we did discuss this on the podcast, sorry.
Here it is
Goes back
again.
in. Yeah. Rehash. I don't trust people who cut up, we did talk about this, who cut up and eat other people.
that is true. Yeah, we did. The
Mhm.
Mayans were very well known for that. Extremely well known for that.
Yeah. So I'm just kind of okay with not using their calendars. By the way, they're wrong anyways.
So, I'm watching this show the other day, and I'm addicted to this show. But, The 100, have you ever watched it? Anyways, these guys are stuck in this bunker. There's a whole other stuff to it, but stuck in this bunker, and they realize, hey, their farms aren't producing enough. And they can't come back to, back to the surface for so long. So they end up starting eating people. And a lot of them are rejecting it, and a lot of them are going with it, and it's two-sided everything here. What would you do?
That's crazy. I don't know.
You're put in that circumstance, okay, they're under the ground, they go to the surface, they're dying.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't eat, they're going to starve. What do you do?
That is insane.
I mean, the Mayans were just killing people for killing people. They weren't killing people to survive. They were just nuts.
Yeah, they're just
These guys,
yeah.
and they weren't just picking, oh, yep, Jordan, you're going to die today, we're eating you. It was if you did a crime against the group, then you were put into a pit with everybody else, and you battle it out, and somebody died. And then that person that died got eaten.
That would suck as a society because that's terrifying. but you don't know who you are until you're
You're in
starving.
that situation. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I've been hungry and I've done stupid stuff. I've never been starving.
Starving. I would have to say, as messed up as it is, there's a very good possibility I'd be eating whoever that is.
That's, whoa, man.
Are you you're starving to death, dude. Are you
Yeah,
gonna sit there
yeah.
and take that?
Well, he's already dead.
Yeah, and the guy's already dead. It's sitting right there, grilled up or whatever you do with human flesh. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, that's one thing people don't. They think you can't eat humans. False. You can't eat human brains. There's there are things in your brain. I can't remember the name right now. Prions. The prions in your brain.
Yeah, all right.
If you eat them, you become insane and it kills you. Well, I don't know if it kills you. I'm pretty sure it kills you. That's where mad cow comes from. Is they grind up cows and feed it to cows.
Yeah.
So they stopped doing that. But you can eat the rest of the human body. Just don't eat the brains. Which the eye is a brain. Part of the brain.
Part of the brain.
It's an extension. So I would
you just
avoid the
don't
eyes.
touch the head at all.
Yeah.
Unless you're absolutely starving. Then you
Whoa.
might get ballsy.
There's accounts from serial killers or serial
Cannibalists.
cannibalists that say that the tip of the nose, the cheeks, and the ears.
I've heard that. I've heard
are
that.
the best. And I think the toes or something like that.
So I wonder, okay, so we got a steak, right? Or a cow.
Mhm.
We butcher it up, you get all the pieces. Like, what? A human, what do you do with the meat, dude?
Yeah.
Like, I grill a steak. Do I grill your arm? You know what I mean? It's so
That
weird
is
to think about.
Yeah. It's not
It's
really.
almost kind of demented to think
It
about.
is demented. I saw a picture of a bow hunter the other day on Instagram, and he had gotten himself a big buck, and the head was just laying on the ground, right underneath the body of itself, and his face was just just in the ground, and I was like, that would be so much weirder if that was a human. Like,
Yeah.
you just kind of laid that dude's head on the ground and just, whatever, that's your spot until I move you.
Yeah,
Now, if that was a human, it's like, whoa, that's kind of weird.
that is true.
You think about that. It's like,
That's why there's vegans.
So the cannibalism thing, I'm not condoning cannibalism, but I think it'd be
No,
more...
definitely not.
No. But, but if you're to just go out and, like, shoot somebody and then take them home and cook them up, that's one thing. But these serial killers are, not all of them, but most of them are bringing them back to their little station and torturing them.
Yeah,
That's weird.
that is a little weird.
Like, if you're just hungry and you're just thinking of it like an elk or a deer, just dinner. I think that's a little
True.
bit more
Yeah.
understandable than torturing somebody and then
Where-
killing them.
Were you talking about one time where they torture some sort of animal some places and they say you torture it and then gets so scared that you kill it and the meat's more tender?
China, dogs.
Dogs, yep, that's what it was, yep.
Yeah, they think that torturing a dog makes the meat tastier.
That's
one
insane.
thing that's weird about the differences between Western culture and Eastern culture. Well, not always Eastern, but like in Africa, like pretty much anywhere where there's white people, it's way different than when there's not white people. And I say that because in Africa, they eat everything.
Oh yeah, anything you get your hands on.
Yeah, same thing with China. Not the same with England. Not the same thing with Spain or.
Yeah, it's
whatnot.
true, yeah.
But in those places, I mean, food's food, sustenance is sustenance.
Yeah.
Like, don't even bat an eye in China. They'll eat everything.
Oh yeah.
Well, I guess same thing with Mexico. They have crickets and stuff, like chocolate-covered crickets.
Yeah, I don't
Those
know,
are
man.
good, though.
Let's say I'll get down on some of those.
Mm-hmm.
What about grubs? You ever had a grub?
Oh.
Big wood grub? Yeah, well, I was out camping one time, just a couple years back, and chopped up some wood. And I mean, dude, these things are huge. You think you're just in rainforest on the other side of the world, you know what I mean? No, this is right here, Colorado. Big old things, man. I'm like, man, you guys should eat that. I'm telling some people I'm with, you guys should eat that. And, no, we're not eating that. You eat it. Well, dude, I'll eat one if you eat one. One thing leads to another. I ate the dang thing.
Mm-hmm.
It was not as bad as you would think.
Did you cook it?
No.
Oh.
Oh, no,
yeah,
it was
gross.
live, dude.
I'd have cooked it.
It was squirming and everything, dude.
Yeah.
I spit right into that sucker, dude. The juices that came out weren't very swell.
Mm.
But the actual grub itself was more, it's like creamy.
Really?
Yeah. Once you chewed it up, it was, I would compare it to peanut butter.
Weird.
Yeah.
That's gross. That's
It was
real gross.
delicious, though. Anyways, what were we talking
Gross.
about? Oh, eating people.
Eating people. Yummy.
Oh, here's a thought. What about horse?
I'm
I
100%
would,
okay with it.
I would eat a horse. People think that is so weird.
Honestly, as long as you're not torturing it, you can eat whatever you want.
Yeah.
I'm fine with it. Just don't torture it. Oh, don't eat Poochie Poochie. I'm freaking starving. Poochie Poochie doesn't. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't
He
give a
looks
shit about-
delicious right
yeah,
now.
I don't give a shit about Poochie Poochie. Poochie's gonna be dinner
Right next to the potatoes.
right next to the potatoes.
We're probably pissing some vegans off right now.
Oh, and some fans of dogs.
Yeah, horses.
But you can get better meat. What is it? I heard. I don't know. I've never tried it, but I heard horse meat is super intense
Oh, really?
or tough. Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see that. I could see it. Unless you're like Kobe beef or whatever, doing that to the horses where you're just massaging them all day and whatnot.
Yeah.
But they're different.
There's places here in America that serve horse.
I believe it.
Yeah.
I don't
There's
see what's
parts of
wrong
it
with
that's
it.
illegal.
Yeah.
Places that aren't. I guess it's a real big thing over in like Saudi Arabia and stuff. They eat a lot of horse. Didn't know
They
that.
need to. Look at that place. Crap.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing there.
Yeah. What about camel, dude? Do they eat camel?
I feel like that would taste gross, but I'd eat it.
You think people eat it though? Think it's a
Probably.
normal thing like a cow?
Probably. Yeah.
I've
I mean,
never
down
heard
in
of
Panama,
anybody eating
You can eat.
camel.
You can eat monkey brains in Panama, so I imagine you can eat a camel.
Oh, I'm sure people eat them, but I wonder if it's like a normal thing.
I don't know.
Like here, we get cows, right?
Yeah.
Well, over there, wherever, are they just eating camels?
Probably not, because how useful they are. One thing,
It's true.
crazy thing about camels being in the Middle East is they weren't originally there.
Oh, really?
They're imported from Australia.
So where's camels from? Are camels from Australia?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that. Are you
Yeah.
sure?
Yep.
Somebody told me camels are indigenous to Australia.
Yeah. That's what I mean. They moved them from Australia to the Middle East.
Or not indigenous.
They're not indigenous of the Middle East. They're indigenous of Australia.
I got my words mixed up, but all right. Yeah.
And one thing, I could be wrong, but I heard it once, so I'm an expert.
It's on the internet. It's
Yeah.
true.
Is that there's only one island with kangaroos on it in Australia,
Really?
or a couple islands. They're not on like the big island.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
I don't know. Could be wrong. I don't know.
You ever been to Australia?
No, want to?
I would go to Australia.
Want to. That'd be awesome.
It would be. Except for everything. I always hear everything wants to kill you there.
Well,
Well, they got the most deadliest of every freaking species, don't they? Or damn near.
I think the top 50 deadliest snakes, 39 of them
Yeah.
are in Australia.
exactly.
I don't know.
Spiders are the same way. They're all like that. It's a bunch of craziness.
85% of whatever wants to kill you is in Australia.
You ever-
Speaking of orcas, an orca killed a great white off the coast of California. Don't know if this is true. I saw it in a picture, so it's real. But orcas hunt everything. Everything
yeah.
except for humans is on the menu for orcas.
Which I call BS on that, dude.
Only in
You're
captivity.
telling me an orca. Yeah, I guess there is facts here.
Yeah, there's never been a recordable incident of wild orca eating a human.
How many people swim with wild orcas?
A lot,
Do they really?
like millions.
Really?
No,
I was gonna say it could not be that many, dude.
no, but they're really
Who's-
friendly. Yeah,
That's crazy.
but it's only happened in captivity.
Hmm.
Yeah, but
You ever seen an orca?
I wanted to. I was in the Puget Sound for 2 years and I never saw anything except for giant king jellyfish. Ugly bastard.
Jellyfish are cool.
Jellyfish.
Jellyfish are random.
Yeah, those are weird.
Those are way weird. They don't swim. They
No,
just
go with the
float.
current.
Yeah. That's
weird.
insane.
And they survive on killing other things.
Yeah.
Right?
Is jellyfish one of those things that never dies?
One of them.
It can, well, it obviously dies, but
No, it'll be murdered, but
Well, if it runs out of food or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we actually talked about this on last podcast.
Did we really?
Mhm.
Yeah, I know we've talked about half this stuff.
But they have one, I don't know if it's one, but there's one that I know of that has an organ that pumps out other organs so it can never die.
Oh, we were discussing that. You're right.
Mhm.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Because we talked about crocodiles being the same way.
Yeah. And I found out that sweet blues jazz album, it's Hugh Lowry from House. Awesome. Sweet album. Sorry. Throw that in there. But back to that orca killing the shark. There was a shark with a tracker on it. And supposedly it dived 500 meters down or something like that and swam to Hawaii.
Whoa.
It's kind of weird.
Hmm.
Like they smelled the blood of a great white. Like, oh, something big is out here hunting me. Bye.
Yeah.
Hawaii bound.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. But that could be anything, you know. That could be anything because great whites do the weirdest shit.
Yeah.
They do weird stuff. A lot of sea life we don't really know too much about.
It's so crazy, man. We know more about so many. We know so much about so many things, but the ocean, right here, dude.
Yeah.
Don't know nothing about it.
Don't know anything about it. Orcas. We have them in captivity, all that jazz. They're intelligent creatures. They're really, really, really smart creatures. And we don't know what they're saying. Different orca pods have different accents.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah. If an orca gets lost, and it'll hook up with a dolphin pod and live with that dolphin pod, become just the giant dolphin,
Whoa, really? I didn't know that.
and pick up their language.
Whoa. So they're
Yeah.
pretty smart then.
Oh, yeah. They'll learn other... That's great. Well, they're porpoises. They're just big dolphins. is all they
Yeah,
are.
just giant dolphins.
Yeah.
I never knew that. It's crazy how smart some animals. People think animals are just stupid. No,
Yeah.
there's a lot of smart animals
Yeah.
out there.
People think sharks are dumb. No, they're way smart. They're smarter than dolphins.
Are they really?
Mm-hmm.
Dolphins are pretty smart. What about the crows? It's totally, we're on
Ooh.
land now, but see them crows that are cleaning up that amusement park? I think it's in Italy. And they train these crows to put trash in this bin. Then if you once you put it in, it gives you a piece of food or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But man, they're just on a rampage right now, cleaning up this amusement park,
That's crazy.
getting their snacks.
My grandpa always used to tell me if you split a crow's tongue, it could talk. I don't know if you need to split its tongue, but there's videos out where there's crows that will actually say words.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Whoa,
Yeah.
never knew that.
I don't think it's that crazy to think because there's parrots that talk.
Yeah, what's the difference?
Yeah. I don't see. It can't be that big of a difference. Plus, crows are one of the smarter birds.
Yeah.
They'll remember faces and hold grudges if you wrong them.
That's insane.
Yeah. That
There's a group of crows they were studying a while back, and they would pick these nuts up off these trees, and they would take them to the highway, drop the nut in the highway, and the car would run over the nut, crack the shell, and they would go get the nut out.
Yeah. No, they're
That's
problem
insane.
solvers.
They're
Yeah,
geniuses.
Yeah. Those and raccoons. Raccoons are real smart.
Are they really?
Mm-hmm.
Raccoons are assholes. That's all I know.
They are. They're way smart though. I just thought I'd bring that up. Little
This is
bastards.
random.
They're great at getting into things that you wouldn't think.
That's a very true point, man. That's a good point. I had one of them plastic totes, where the lids snap down real good. The things are hard to get off, dude, for your average person. You know what I mean? You got to pull back on it pretty good. And can't remember what we were doing, but anyways, sitting outside, and I had a bunch of there's some cookies and stuff in there. We were out camping or some adventure, whatever. Freaking raccoons got in there, and they opened that lid, dude.
Damn.
I don't know how. In a million years, I was like, all right, not possible. There's no way they can open that lid. They got that freaking lid open, dude.
Yeah.
And they ate everything inside.
Pretty ingenuitive.
They are.
We think that animals are so much less intelligent than we are. I was gonna say stupider, but they're actually really smart. I mean, there's definitely a difference between us and an orca. We have planes and they still swim around.
Yeah.
So F them. But like octopodes or octopuses, those are insane.
Those things are way smart.
There was a case, I'm sure it happens a lot. There's a case of an aquarium losing fish at night. They come back and there'd just be fish gone or half-eaten fish or whatnot. They could not figure it out why these fish would be going. And then the floor would be wet in the morning.
That's nuts.
So they started watching the cameras. They found out there was an octopus that would climb out of his aquarium or her aquarium, climb down, climb into the other aquarium, pluck a fish or two out, and then go back into their tank. In the middle of the night.
That's nuts. Like nothing happened.
Yeah, he knew, or she knew, whatever, it knew that it needed to be in that tank to not get caught. And they finally, I mean, he doesn't know what a camera is. So.
Yeah, finally got caught.
Mm-hmm.
What's that guy that says if there's any animal to take over the world, it's going to be octopuses?
Oh, I don't know who
Not
it is,
monkeys.
but yeah. It's true.
Yeah.
If they didn't die after 7 years.
I was going to say their lifespan's not very big.
They mate and die.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they're smart enough. Those are problem solvers. Those guys will figure some stuff out. They'll open, like if you put a jar there and you put something in it, it doesn't even need to know that it, like, doesn't have to smell it. It just knows it wants it.
Yeah, well, something's in there.
Open the top off and get in there.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
They can
That's
fit
good.
into some tiny little holes, too, speaking
Yep.
of. They'll take this big old octopus and it'll suck through a little tiny pinhole almost.
Yeah, as long as the hole isn't bigger than their beak,
They can fit.
they can fit in there.
That's nuts.
yeah.
Their bodies are like jelly.
Mm-hmm.
Suck it all together and pop it through a hole.
Divers have a problem with squids, diving around squids. Those little alien bastards will go
Them are some weird
yeah.
creatures.
They'll go straight for your goggles to take them off because they know that you need them to see.
Whoa.
What taught them that?
No joke.
What taught them that?
That's crazy.
That is mind-blowing
That's nuts.
that they know to go right for that.
Little assholes is what they are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, how do you learn that?
Cephalopods are they have to be aliens. A meteorite had to have crashed into Earth carrying
That's where they came from?
Yeah, cephalopod babies. Because there's no way. They're so alien compared
Yeah.
to anything else.
There's a lot of weird animals in the ocean in general. What's that one fish with that little thing on his head that glows?
Angler.
Yeah.
Those are all of those are female. And they're bigger than you think.
Yeah, I seen a picture of one compared to another fish, and I was like, whoa, this thing is massive.
I seen one compared to a kid.
Yeah, it was a kid. That might have been what it was,
Yeah.
yep.
So, whoa. I thought they were this big.
Yeah, I'm thinking they're a little fish I can just catch.
Uh-uh.
Well, you can't catch them because they're so deep, but still. What do they eat?
Doesn't
What the hell do they eat way down there?
Well, they're fish, I think.
They gotta be eating some shit to be so big.
Yeah. Oh, those are actually really interesting. No one knows a lot about them, but what they do know, and I'm watering it down, is the males look nothing like them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're kind of just like banal looking fish. There's nothing cool about them. They swim up to them and attach to the side or wherever, and they bite them and just fuse into the skin of that anglerfish.
Whoa.
They're just constantly pumping baby juice into it.
That's insane.
Yeah, and so that's how they reproduce.
Never knew
Because
that.
it's so you find so few and far, like it's so rare that you find another fish down there. So I don't even know what they eat.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What do they eat? And
Yeah.
then they're huge, so they gotta.
Maybe they're like, it's a treat if they find another fish, but they like feed on like some sort of plankton that doesn't
Yeah,
need
kinda like a
sunlight.
whale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they found worms or microbes or something down in these volcanoes at the bottom of the ocean that are completely alien. They don't need oxygen. They don't need sunlight. I don't even think they're carbon based.
Hmm.
They're the complete opposite of what we think life should be.
Yeah.
Oh, and another reason why I think octopodes are aliens is their blood is copper based.
Yeah, we were talking about that once. That's crazy. I never realized that either.
The blood's like green or something.
Yeah.
Weirdness.
They're aliens, man.
Mhm.
Aliens.
That's very weird. Very weird. Got onto some random topics. What
We
else
did.
do we got?
I don't know. What kind of goodness over here?
Yeah.
Oh, one thing I was looking into earlier. So anybody that's got a 401k, people cash these things out, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know how much money you lose when you cash this thing out? There's some penalties, dude. This government does not mess around, dude.
Oh, yes. This government loves its money.
Oh, yeah.
you might have talked about it, but I think it's called the dead tax or the death tax.
Yeah, we were talking about that once. I don't think it was on here though.
Okay, so if I have $100,000, I die, and I give it to my son or daughter, the government steps in and is like, "Thank you for the $50,000.
Yeah.
We'll take 50%
That's insane, dude.
That
Off
is
of
insane.
a dead guy.
off of a family matter." A
Yeah.
family matter.
That's nuts.
I think President Trump was saying that he wants to get rid of that. Maybe he did.
Oh,
Maybe he
okay,
didn't.
that's what we got on topic
Yeah.
with it. Yeah,
Maybe he did.
It
Maybe,
sh-
maybe he didn't. But
it should be.
it should
Yeah, you
be.
need to get rid of that.
Half these taxes need to be illegal.
That's true.
I'm not saying get rid of all taxes. You need some sort of tax to
Yeah, you gotta
take
have some
care
money
of
to go in.
the government,
Yeah.
or not the government, but the country. But some of it's just ridiculous, like that. You don't need to tax that. You don't need to tax the lottery. You don't need to tax the wealthy so damn much. Taking 50% of what they make, almost.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
The lottery's another one, dude. They
Yeah.
tax that thing like crazy.
Yeah, depending on your state. So you have the lottery tax, then you have the federal tax, then you have the state tax, depending on your state. And then I think there might be more taxes. I looked into it a lot a couple years ago. I can't quite remember, but there's a lot of taxes that go into winning the lottery, which makes it hard to give money out at the very beginning because you don't know. Unless you
Yeah.
hire an accountant, they're like, well, how much money can I spend, you know?
Yeah.
Because next year tax season comes around. Did you earn any extra income from the lottery or gambling or whatever? Yes, I did.
Government, dude. Trying to rip us off.
Just trying to rip us off. But you ever seen the movie Snowden?
I still have not watched that. I need to go watch that. I'll write that down, actually.
You do need to go watch that because that is an insanely good movie. I don't know how accurate it is, but when President Obama was running, he was saying that whistleblowers will have immunity, or like they'll depending on what it is, they won't get charged as hard. And then that happens, and he has to flee to Russia. Russia, of all
Yeah.
places, he flees to Russia. So it's kind of like, dude, that's BS. You shouldn't. You said you're okay with whistleblowers, and now you're trying to kill Snowden.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I don't know why I brought that up.
That is kind of random. Where did you learn that? The heck are you thinking of that for?
I don't know, but I can't really trust the government too much. Because it's pretty obvious that the state of affairs with the people in the government are not the closest. Like now, it's obvious that people aren't so happy with how the government's being ran. But what can we do about it? So it's kind of like they took the ball and they ran with it.
Yeah.
And people like Snowden, I don't want to say are heroes, but are kind of like the forerunners of like how society should be ran. They're civil servants, and they should be civil servants, but they're running the country. Like you badmouth the Clinton Foundation, you might end up running into a tree
On accident.
on accident,
Parentheses.
or you might get Kennedy'd. Looking at a picture of
Kennedy,
JFK.
right. Kennedy, dude. Talk about one of the biggest conspiracies ever.
Oh,
You
my
can
goodness.
get into some serious things into that one.
You ever seen the video of Lee Harvey Oswald getting shot?
Yeah.
It is so obvious that it was set up.
I never paid attention to it, I guess.
Oh, it's so obvious.
I got way deep into this Kennedy thing for a while, dude. Well, I was going to figure it out myself, you know, like me and 500 other million people have done.
Yeah.
But you can believe whatever you want. And I watched that video, but I never paid attention to it.
No, the guys that are escorting him are like walking way, like they have the arms on him, right? But he's so open to getting shot. Watch it again,
I'm
and
gonna
you'll be
check
like,
it out.
oh, okay, it's way obvious that these guys set up to kill him because he's about to go testify and give his side of the story. All he said was that he was set up.
Yeah.
And then it's oh fuck, he said that. He wasn't supposed to say that. Let's go kill him.
Yeah.
So they killed him.
The best one out there, dude, is that mobster. His story makes dude. He's got an answer for everything, man. I can't remember how he goes. The mob hired it. He got hired.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody hired the mob to kill Kennedy, is what they're saying. And this guy's new to the mob, you know. And they say, "Man, you're the guy, dude. You're up, man. You can shoot, you know." So, he's saying he's the one that killed Kennedy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's got a story for everything. So apparently, him and Oswald, a couple days before, were out sighting in his rifle. He was friends with the guy, and then they tried to set up this Oswald guy, and then this mobster's like, "Wait a minute, dude, that guy was with me, man. He knows."
Mm-hmm.
So then this other guy that shot Oswald, what's his name? Can't remember his name. He owed the mob some money,
Yeah, I don't know his name.
so they told him, "Hey, you gotta go kill this guy, or we're killing you." So then he went and killed the guy. It's a big old crazy elaborate story, man. But this guy's still alive today. This mobster, and he's in jail. Well, I think he's still alive. He did an interview back in the late, it was like early 2000s, late 90s.
Well, he's probably
And he tells his whole, yeah, he probably is dead by now. He tells his whole story and exactly what happened and exactly how he did it and everything, dude. Man, he did a serious amount of research, or he really was the killer, dude.
I don't know how you could do that kind of research in jail. Like
That's
you could
true,
do
dude.
some research, but I think they wouldn't give you that kind of information.
Yeah, the biggest key part was he said he shot him, whatever. Wasn't sure if he had actually hit the guy, man. So ejected his cartridge, right, his empty shell, put another round in there. The fucking shell fell out, and he picked it up and bit into it. And he said he set it up on the wall. There's a wall there, right? And he says, I don't know why I did it. I have no clue to this day. He said it was just a weird, like, my call sign thing, you know? He said I just bit into it and suck it on that wall. So sure as shit, dude. These guys, I don't know, man. Maybe this is a conspiracy, too.
Yeah.
They go down to the wall, dude. The guy's doing the interview. They say, all right, we'll test your theory. We're going to go over there and dig around right where this guy says he was at. So they dig down, and sure as shit, they found a freaking empty casing, dude, that had bite marks in it, dude.
Whoa.
And it was so many feet or inches below the ground, and they had a guy come in and test it, and for the time period to now, is that correct or whatever? And that guy said it was right on, man.
Huh. And he was saying that he was the second shooter?
He's saying he's the one that he was no second shooter. It was him and another guy, and the first guy was supposed to shoot him. He was down the road a little further, and that guy didn't actually do it. Whatever happened, he didn't have the right sight or whatever. And then once Kennedy got to him, if Kennedy wasn't dead or wasn't shot, then he was going to be the shooter. Well, it got to him, and he ended up shooting him.
I'm pretty sure
It's a crazy story.
he got shot twice or multiple times.
I've heard that too, yeah.
Because if you look at, I don't know if
I've watched that video about 1,000 times, dude.
Yeah. I don't know if I've seen the actual autopsy report papers, but they say that bullet did some crazy things.
Yeah.
Crazy things. Like shot him in the neck and then went down through his body.
Yeah.
And went out
the other side, yeah.
Hit the other guy and then went through his body and then into the dude's wrist. And then they show the bullet. A perfect bullet. I don't know if you've seen what
I'm
happens.
sure I have. Oh, yeah, once it's been shot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A bullet that gets shot.
Yeah. That's why it's such a giant controversy.
That the bullet did that without ever hitting a bone.
There is people who say they got, because if you watch the video, man, if it was shot twice, dude, it was damn near simultaneously, dude.
Yeah.
They were freaking pretty spot on with each other, the two shooters.
You always hear the back and then to the side or whatever like that.
Yeah.
If you watch, you're like,
That's true, yeah. I do
weird.
remember that.
yeah.
But a lot of people talk about the grassy knoll, you know, and that's where the shooter, and that's where this guy was at. He was a little bit further back than most people say, but that's where he was at. Pretty wild.
That is a very interesting thing. And I think he got killed because the government, during that time, that it was a very politically charged era between us and the Russians. And the podcast that everyone has to go and listen to is Dan Carlin's podcast on it. I can't remember the name of the episode, but if you just look for Cold War Dan Carlin, it'll pop up. But it was talking about that was it Lenin? The Russian leader thought that Kennedy was this big old joke and blah 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 blah. And at the time, there's a lot of mission plans to do some crazy stuff against Americans and other people. And Kennedy walked in and was like, no, not happening. And I think that's why he got executed, was because the government was tired of this young buck that no one really liked in the government-wise. I mean, the people liked him. But this young buck coming in and saying no to all these plans. Because, I mean, who wants Operation Northwood to be a reality?
Yeah.
It's messed up.
Back to that. Things all messed up here. Back to that mobster guy, dude. He doesn't 100% know who made the call or whatever, but his speculation is the government hired the mob to do it, and that's why.
Could be.
So if you look at all the conspiracies, like this guy's answers, most of them in one. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah. People think that the government can do all these crazy, like, black op things. And then there's other people that say, they can't even fix potholes in the road. Like, that's two different things.
Yeah, we're on two different worlds here.
So you're saying that a Navy SEAL is the same thing as the Parks and Rec director of your local city?
Yeah.
Not even close.
You're on two different levels here, buddy.
Two different worlds. Both government workers.
Yeah, that's true. Never thought about it like that.
Because I thought about that. I was like, that's true. Government doesn't know their ass from a crescent wrench, you know?
Yeah.
But then you're like, okay, well, MARSOC, Navy SEALs, Recon, they're all government workers.
Yeah. Never thought about that.
Yeah, so they could have gotten away with hiring the mob just for proxies.
Yeah. Try to keep the attention off themselves.
But when people say that these crazy conspiracy theories, like, it would take too many people to not talk, and I always say, look into the Manhattan Project. 400,000 people, over 400,000 people were involved.
And they didn't even know.
They didn't even know, and the ones that did know didn't talk.
Yeah.
You know how scary it is? Okay, so you're developing something incredible. Not in the good sense incredible, just world-changing, world-ending. That in itself is already like, okay, this is the not messing around time. And then you have government that come in and be like, don't mess around. Like, the government is telling you, not police officer, not your teacher or your staff sergeant.
Well, that's true too. Teachers are part of the government. Side note.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The government, some John Smith come down, don't mess around, or you will go bye-bye.
Yeah.
And another crazy thing is a lot of those scientists that were working on it had to change their names. Oppenheimer, the guy who was the father of the atom bomb or whatever.
Yeah.
That wasn't his name. He was actually a German who had to come over here and switch his name so he wouldn't get in trouble or something like that. I don't know. Yeah.
That's crazy. That's me playing footsies over here.
But, yeah. What else do we got here? What other things have you looked into?
Oh, man, I'm all over the board. I've been getting into this Kratom thing. Have you ever heard of this Kratom thing, dude?
Yes.
Whoa. I'm still doing research on it.
Yeah.
I just don't understand. There's not enough research on it itself, for one. People are getting all, it's not hurting nobody. Is it?
Yeah.
I'm not saying it is, but I'm not saying it isn't. There's not enough prolonged thing to it. But it's pretty much a plant.
Yeah.
Or it is a plant. And it's supposed to, natural painkiller.
There's a lot of nuances that go along with a lot of things. So, there was this pre-workout, I think is what it was. That was illegal for the military to use because it had killed some kid.
Whoa.
And like, oh no, it's so bad for you that it killed somebody. Okay, when you take pre-workout, you're not supposed to go run. You're supposed to stay stationary and work out, lift the weights.
Yeah.
Don't run. It's not very. I mean, I'm kind of watering it down. I'm sure you can, but it's not good for you. It's not good to run on pre-workout. Well, this kid did that. Apparently, he took a lot, or I don't know how it worked, but he died because he was running on that pre-workout. His heart burst or something.
It's misuse.
It's misuse of the product.
Yeah. I think a lot of people that doesn't, they get, oh well, this killed so many people.
Yeah.
Are you using it correctly?
Yeah. You could die from anything.
Yeah.
Don't drink 50 gallons of water.
That's
Drink
true.
the right amount of water.
Yeah.
You'll be fine. Don't take pre-workout and run 14 miles or whatever you run.
Yeah.
Die.
That's true.
You just gotta be
Misuse.
smart.
There's instructions for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Then if you do the instructions, if you follow the directions, and then you die, all right, then you can raise some awareness or whatever.
Yeah. What else was he taking too? On top of that.
That's true. Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure this kid was a bodybuilder. So name me one bodybuilder that isn't on a bunch of different stuff.
Oh yeah, they're taking multiple things.
So it could have been a compounding effect that could have killed him.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Bodybuilders, man, they take some crazy things.
Yeah,
Eat some crazy things too.
they do. They have to eat a lot.
Yeah.
They have
Couldn't
to
do
eat.
it, dude.
No.
That's an intense amount of food.
Yeah.
They're on a time schedule, man. I was watching something one time, and Ronnie Coleman, man, Olympian, and he was in some meeting. I don't even know what it was. I don't even remember at this point. And his watch starts beeping. The alarm starts beeping. And he reaches down under the table, man, and pulls out this thing, dude, of chicken nuggets, man. And it had to have had freaking 100 chicken nuggets in it, dude. And he busts it out, dude, and he's got this freaking barbecue sauce, and he's just sitting there. It's like a official. Everybody's in suits and stuff. I don't know what it was, man. This guy's over there in the corner, dude, with his chicken nuggets, man. Hope. And I was just like, this is insane, dude.
Yeah.
But you know they're on a schedule.
I had two buddies who got on, I don't know what it was. It was like steroids, but the little brother of it.
Yeah, okay. It's got a name. I know what you're talking
I
about.
don't remember, but it's legal and it doesn't do anything bad for your balls. But if you don't take the after cycle, you'll there's a big chance that you'll get gyno, and your your nipples will
sag.
And
They
they'll
sag and they lactate. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of the stuff, but I had a buddy who was on it, and to do it right, to get the most bang for your buck, is you need to be doing that, just constantly eating.
Yeah.
And I remember him bitching about it. He's like, I don't want to eat anymore. I'm tired of eating. I have to eat so much. Like, yeah, that sucks.
That's kind of how it works.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, I was always, whenever I was working out a lot, I was always on pre-workout at the most, or amino acids and pre-workout, but
Yeah.
never anything more. And then I stopped doing pre-workout because you don't know. Pre-workout's pretty new, and so you don't know the long-term effects
Yeah,
of what it's on
exactly.
the body. There's a thing going around. I don't know if it's still a thing. Is wrapping your arms and legs when you work out. You know how you draw blood
Yeah.
with those wraps. They'll wrap their
You
arms.
wrap it tight to where it cuts
Yeah.
it. Whoa.
And it's supposed to
I never heard of this. That's
yeah,
freaking insane.
it's supposed to be really good for muscle growth. But you have to think
That does not sound good.
that's going to loosen those blood veins so bad and you're going to die.
Yeah.
You have to. I don't know. I'm not
That
a
is
doctor.
not good for you.
but
There's
that
no
is-
way.
There's no way that is good for your body. There's no
Who
way.
in the hell thought of that? I've never heard of that. That's insane.
That's like, okay, boom, boom. So that's a vein. It gets bigger and bigger. You stretch something out, it's not going to go back to its original size.
Yeah.
It's going to bigger and then stay. It's going to shrink down, but it's going to stay bigger than what it was.
What's their thought process behind that? It makes your. I don't understand what it does.
I can't remember. It's like help the blood get to the muscles so it grows faster. I don't remember, but it's supposed to be really, really good for.
I'm gonna have to
muscle
look into
growth.
that. That's nuts.
But when I saw it, I was like, dude, that is so bad for your body.
Cannot be good.
No.
Make
There's
a
some
note to
things
it.
in life where you're like, instantly, I don't need scientific research to know
That's
that is
stupid.
not good.
Sorry for anybody that does it.
Yeah, but one weird thing, I saw a picture of it. It was somebody got exhumed to test some like criminal thing or something. Something happened, and his body got exhumed for DNA testing, and it took a picture of his face. This dude had been dead for years, like decades. He'd been gone. Or no, right under 2 decades, I think. And he looked normal.
Really?
He just had mold on his face.
Hmm.
And it got me thinking. It was like, that's unnatural. I don't want to. And it was because he was embalmed.
Oh, really? That's
Yeah.
their conclusion?
Mm-hmm. They keep your, when they embalm you, it keeps your body so well that after like 20 almost 30 years, I don't remember the number, that it's just mold, little mold on his face.
That's almost creepy.
It's terrifying. And when I want to write a will now, just so I don't forget, I don't want to be embalmed. When I die, I want to be gone. I want to be dust.
Yeah.
I don't want to be that disgusting thing that I saw.
Yeah.
Like that's unnatural.
Well, all these people with implants and stuff, or different, you know what I mean? Even the people that adjust their face and have shit injected into them.
I've seen some way crazy body modifications, is what it's called. Some dude made himself look like Red Skull from Marvel. Cut his nose off.
Which one's Red Skull?
Do you remember the first Captain America movie?
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
The dude looks exactly
Really?
like him, except for the
Why?
red. He has to paint it red.
Yeah.
But yeah, some people do that. I've seen one where it's like demon dude or demon chick. I don't know their name, but they have horns, like 3 or 4 on this side, 3
Oh,
or
I've
4
seen
on this
people
side.
do that, yeah.
And then they tattoo their eyeballs, so their eye whites are now eye blues, or eye
Yeah,
blacks.
I've seen
or-
that too.
It's like that is insane.
That's creepy.
I mean, like I said before, to each his own.
Yeah, that's
Whatever
true.
you're passionate about, I'm all for you. But damn,
Gonna-
don't get mad at me when I'm staring at your demon
That's
ass.
what pisses me off, yeah. So you did those crazy things. All right, that's your own deal. But
Yeah.
when me or little kids or anybody is looking at
Yeah.
you trying to figure out what in the
Yeah,
is going on
Yeah,
with
let-
all this,
yeah. Let's stop acting like that isn't normal.
yeah. And then why did you do it if you don't want people to see it?
Mm-hmm.
On another side, if I'm going to
Yeah.
put studs in my freaking forehead, look like I got horns.
But I can relate with them. I get asked all the time why I have a Native American tomahawk. None of your damn business. I mean, I
That's
had it
true.
on my skin out in the open. I knew the questions were going to come. Hey, ain't none of your damn business. This isn't for you. If it was for you, it'd be on a piece of paper and I'd be handing it to you.
That's a good point.
It's on my skin.
Yeah.
It's for me. I like it.
Yeah, but when people stare, do you get defensive?
I do not.
Yeah, see, that's another
Yeah.
thing. And I'm not going to go and ask you, why the did you put that thing in your head, you
Yeah.
dumbass, or whatever, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
Yeah. So it's like, whenever they ask or they stare or whatever, it's like, well, whatever. They're just interested in my skin.
Yeah.
Like, why'd you get that? I don't get mad. I'm just like, well, they asked a question. It's mine. I mean, inside I get a little upset because it's like, don't ask stupid questions. man.
Yeah.
Like, I liked it, so I got it. Whatever the real reason behind it is, that's for me. But no, I like to stay calm about stuff like that because it's not like it goes back to sticks and stones. It's just sounds, just
Yeah.
sound waves.
It's true.
Who cares?
Why
what
let
they
it affect
say?
you?
Yeah, it's annoying.
That's a good point.
It's annoying when people get so offended about sounds.
That hurts some serious
Yeah.
people's feelings.
God, it's such sensitive Nancy's nowadays.
Welcome to 2018.
Yeah,
You think it's going to get worse?
oh, it's gonna get way worse. I hope it doesn't.
There's a
But it
strong
is.
divide right now, though, where a lot of people are like, "No, we don't want it to get worse." So
Yeah.
maybe they're gonna start fighting it so it doesn't. It's a good possibility.
The pendulum always swings the other way.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it doesn't swing too
Too
hard.
far. I was gonna say we're gonna go extreme to the other side
Yeah.
now. We're already extreme to this side, and we're gonna go extreme back the other way.
Yeah, that's right now is so incredibly crazy, media-wise. Just remember the picture, and it's this. It goes with the media. It's talks about term, but it's like because of the media makes mean world syndrome or something like that, where people think the world is more dangerous than it really is.
Huh.
I know the world pretty well. It is way dangerous, but a lot of people might think it's way more dangerous because all they watch is this fear-mongering news outlets.
Yeah, that's
Like,
true too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a negativity, man. Why can't we can't have a positive outlook here?
I had to stop watching news because it was every single day was this person died, this person got murdered, this
Yeah.
person. It's like, okay, what about the spelling bee that went well? Like, let's put some
Positivity in there. Yeah.
let's put some positivity out in the world, but that doesn't sell. That's the weird thing.
That's true. Yeah.
it's-
People like that.
Mhm.
That craziness.
It's the weird thing about humans is we like to look at the morbid death side of things.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
We're some screwed up individuals.
I wonder if it goes back to when we were first starting out as tribes and we would look at something that died, a human that died, and it was like, okay, well, why did he die? Oh, he was messing with a saber tooth? Let's not do that. Oh, why did he die? Oh, he got bit by a snake. Okay, let's not go around those. I think that might have trickled on.
So now the news agency's putting out there,
Yeah.
oh, this guy died from it. Oh, we better
Yeah.
not do
We
that.
just have such an interest because it helps us with survival. I don't know.
That's a good point.
That
That's a
might
thought
be
anyways.
Yeah, that might be one reason why we're so into death. Then it's just this looming thing over our heads. Like what
Like
is
it's
it?
destiny.
Yeah, we all know it.
We all know it's coming,
Mhm.
but what really is it though?
Yeah.
Nobody really
No
knows
one
until
knows.
it happens.
Yeah, no one knows if there's an afterlife. There's
Yeah.
no definitive facts.
Yeah,
It's kind of crazy.
that is kind of crazy, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're gonna make me think about it.
Yeah, you know, it's weirder. Is where did it all come from?
What do you mean?
Everything, the whole universe. Where did it come from?
That's a good point.
Okay, so if you want to
We'll never know.
if you want to keep religion out of it, everything started in an insanely dense area that's between the size of a pinhead to like 3 millimeters or I don't remember centimeters, whatever it may be, and then it just blew up. Well, where did that
It's still
where
even
did that come from?
add religion to it.
Yeah,
What was before that?
what was before God?
Yeah, where did he come from? Where did
Yeah.
all that come from?
Yeah, well, he was always. Well, no, where
Always
did-
what? Always where?
He
Always
just-
who? Oh, you know what I
yeah,
mean?
that doesn't.
That
no.
doesn't answer
Some,
questions here.
Yeah, he had to have came from somewhere too.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. It doesn't matter which way you think of it; it's still mind blowing.
Yeah.
It kind of makes you scratch your head. You're like, I don't like thinking about
Yeah.
this. This is
It's like
scary.
that old saying, which came first, the chicken or the egg?
Yeah,
How? Well, I don't know.
yeah.
Are you ever gonna know? It's one of those things you just can't explain.
That's kind of interesting. That saying is weird because it's like I don't think it was chicken or the egg. I think they developed.
Oh,
It might have been the egg.
there's some serious topics on that. Speaking of though,
Yeah.
I think it's quantum physics. I'm probably wrong, but anyways, there's a new study. I think it's quantum physics, and they say they both can come first. And they have a weird theory
Yeah.
on it, dude. And I was sitting here reading this article, and I was just like, "What in the hell are you guys talking about?"
Well, chickens developing over time, they weren't necessarily chickens, but they were eggs.
Yeah,
So you look at a velociraptor, this tiny little chicken-like terror on two
Well,
legs.
maybe those were the chickens of the,
Yeah,
how many ever years ago.
still laying eggs. Develop. Now they're chickens, still eggs. But they weren't chickens millions of years ago.
Yeah,
Now they are chickens. So I think the egg did come first.
it's a good point. It's a good point. Where'd it come from, though?
A being of infinite size farted, and that's that's how our universe became what you see
What
today.
it is today. You never know, dude. You'll probably never know. Nobody will ever know.
I think we might have talked about it, but the differences between Western culture and Eastern culture night and day.
Yeah, we were talking about as far as eating animals and stuff, but
How unspiritual we are compared to them. We're more religious, not spiritual. They're way spiritual, but we're more religious, so we're more technologically advanced, and they're less technologically advanced. I don't think it's because of our religious background, but it's kind of weird to think. Well, maybe it is. Maybe it is because they're happy with their life because they're more spiritually enlightened than we are.
yeah.
So we're not as happy as them, so we're constantly trying to figure stuff out. They're kind of like, hey, whatever, I'm fine with my bundle of sticks.
It's true. We always want more.
Yeah, they're kind of happy with what they got.
Never thought about that.
Yeah, kind of an interesting notion. But one podcast I was listening to was talking about the Lacedaemonians, a lesser known name for the Spartans.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, dude.
Yeah.
I know I've heard of it, but I don't remember what they are.
Yeah, the Lacedaemonians was the original name of the
For Spartans.
For Spartans. Well, I don't know if it's the original name, but it was before the Spartans because they come from Lacedaemonia, not Sparta. Lacedaemonia is like the whole area, and there's a king who named the city-state after his daughter of Sparta.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Those people were very interesting. But like I've said before, all of that is so watered down. It's not even third-hand writings. It's people who've read writings, wrote about those writings. Another dude comes along, read those writings, and wrote about those writings.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's way watered down.
You don't know exactly.
We don't know.
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows. We're just
Yeah.
kind of have to
We're
believe
going off
it.
a dude's word who got
Yeah.
a dude's word who's got a dude's word
Yeah.
who's got some other dude's words.
And if you think about it, it's like, well, certain points of history, it's like, who cares if it's true or not? Like, who cares if the Spartans were the most badass warriors the world's ever seen? Nothing is going to change from the fact if they're not actually the history's most badass.
Yeah.
So that's like, kind of like, shut up and just kind of go with it. If you don't believe in it, then think of it as a fairy tale. If you do believe in it, then whatever.
Yeah, it's exciting then.
Yeah, but those guys were so stoic. There's a general who got in trouble. Well, this is weird. Okay, it was a king, I think, got in trouble because the Congress asked him how the war was going, and he wrote like a 7-word sentence and got reprimanded for talking too much.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we discussed this before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you need not speak so many words or whatever the response was. But Sparta was a dual kingship. There's like a warrior king, kind of, and then there's like the civilian side king. So there's always a king in Sparta. So one, I don't know if one was like the manlier one or if they're both manly, but one would always stay in Sparta and the other one would go. And so that's
Never
how,
knew that.
yeah, and that's how the Hot Gates thing was able to be a reality, was because there was a king still hanging out in Sparta. So it's like, well, we would prefer if you didn't go, but if you have to, all right, bye. And they're able to carry on with their business just fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's nuts. Never knew that part.
And don't remember if Tribe actually talked about it, but with Sparta, they had such a militaristic, a warrior's ethos for the civilians. So when they'd come home from war, it's not like they're coming home like they are today with people who don't understand what they went through. They have people to lean on everywhere they go. They turn their head to the left.
There's a guy there.
Yeah, I could talk to that dude about what it was like to go to war, and so you can get that off your chest, and it helps because they know.
Yeah.
You could think about it like bitching about work. Like, oh, dang that whoever, insert name, to your girlfriend or wife back home. Like, okay, yeah, no, he's a jerk, but you don't really get that, like, you don't get that connection. Like, no, really, F that dude. Like you do bitching about that person with a coworker. you both get in there. Like,
You both know,
you
yeah.
both know. You just get
That's
that.
true.
And so when they come home, they're able to like really get it off their chest instead of what it is today, trying to explain what it's like to go overseas and fight.
Yeah.
You don't really, unless you're talking to another vet.
That's been in that experience.
Yeah.
It's crazy thought. It's crazy thought.
Yeah.
All right. What? We wrapping this sucker up? We can
Yeah,
keep on,
if you want
keep
to.
on chatting here.
Yeah. Wrap her up.
We lost track of time.
I don't know how long we've been talking.
I don't know.
An hour, a couple hours.
No.
If
Jeez,
you're-
I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
No, it don't matter to me. I was just.
for good to keep going. Or
Yeah. What
if
do you
you
got over there?
I don't know.
We're a little unprepared right now. We kind of got off topics, and
Yeah.
now we're skimming through some products over here.
Trying to find something to
Jog our memory or interest our.
pick something like a pineapple.
Oh, dude, that was a crazy story, man. We got to tell people that.
Yeah.
So
So,
Go ahead. Go
if
ahead.
you want to say
No,
it?
go ahead. Go ahead. This is crazy. This is
So-
genius, actually.
Yeah. So we're talking to one of our buddies, and it's a thought experiment. To find some people who can talk and like see if people are actually able to keep up a conversation.
carry
about
a
anything.
conversation, yeah.
Carry a conversation. And it's very hard with our generation because we're so obsessed with our phones that we don't get this. What we're doing right now is
just
face to
one-on-one.
face. And so our buddy was saying he went home and looked at the pineapple. I think it was a fake pineapple, he said.
You say it was fake? I don't know. He just said it was a pineapple. I can't
Yeah.
remember.
He has a pineapple on his kitchen table, and he looked at his wife and he's like, let's have a conversation about pineapples. And she couldn't. And it's kind of one of those, like, some people just don't have that conversation bug
Yeah.
or gene. And I guess I used to have that problem too. I wouldn't be able to have a conversation about
conversation.
anything. Yeah.
It's crazy what it turns into, though, man. Because I
Yeah.
took that same idea,
Mhm.
and we're sitting in some restaurant. I don't know. It was a little date night we were having, right? And I was
Instead
telling
of
that story
podcasting.
again. Yeah. I was telling that story, you know. I was like, man, this good friend of ours, starts talking about this pineapple, you know. And I'm sitting, because, dude, it blew my mind when he started telling us this. So we're sitting there, and I'm like, so what do you think about, after I told the story, and I was like, so what do you think about pineapples, you know? And then we're just randomly talking about pineapples for a short split second, and then all of a sudden we're off onto freaking who knows what topic. We were into some random crazy things we're talking about,
Yeah.
all from just deciding to sit there
Mhm.
and discuss a pineapple.
Yeah.
And I had the thought of it, and no matter what we do, no matter where I go, like if there's a group of people and it gets awkward, I'm just going to pick a random object and say,
Yeah.
hey, what about this pen? You know, what do you like about this pen?
Yeah.
And then see what happens.
We're always talking about social lubricants. That is a really good one.
Yeah,
It's an icebreaker, I
it
guess.
is.
You just talk about toner microphones or
Yeah.
whatever, and you just start getting on a topic of that, and then
It
You're-
stems out,
yeah.
dude. Like I said, and only that, just the opening, it's like pineapples, right? And I was like, man,
Yeah.
I like the look of a pineapple. It's
Mhm.
real curvy and it's got some weird grooves, and I was like, wonder why it does that.
yeah,
I should have looked it up because I'm sure there's a reason why
Mhm.
it does that. And then next thing you know, we're talking about,
space,
Space
aliens.
time travel and who knows what.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All because for 5 seconds we talked about a freaking pineapple.
Well, pineapples are actually quite the interesting topic of discussion because they're actually people think when you think pineapple, you think Hawaii, but they are not actually indigenous of Hawaii. Captain Cook brought them to Hawaii.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they don't grow on trees. They grow like
Wait a minute.
they grow like watermelons.
Oh, hold on. Are you sure?
Yeah,
Hold on. I gotta Google this.
pineapple fields in Hawaii look awful because it's just rows and rows and rows of just green bushes on the ground.
What? It's some kind of peanuts. You ever seen a peanut tree?
Mm-mm.
I always thought peanuts grew like in a big tree, right? Like an apple.
Mhm.
No, they're like a little shrub.
I didn't know they grew on shrubs. I thought they grew like potatoes.
Yeah, it's like a potato. Sorry, not a shrub. But when you look at it, it looks like a shrub because it's got this big leafy thing, and you
Oh,
reach down
okay.
there and you pull it up, like a carrot almost, and then there's just a big
Oh.
old bushel of peanuts, and it's insane.
Yeah, so I was right. I didn't.
Yeah, I don't know why I was thinking
Yeah.
shrubs. not very many good pictures of this thing here.
Mm-mm. Yeah, they look like a yucca almost.
Yeah, they are. That's exactly what they look like.
Yeah. If you guys don't know what a
I was
yucca
gonna
is,
say-
Google it. It's a desert thing.
Is it? Yeah, they're
Weirdos.
everywhere. We
Yeah.
look out here. You see
Yeah.
a freaking yucca. Huh.
Speaking
That's
of
crazy. I never knew that.
yeah. Speaking of yuccas, when my dad was younger, he was a wild child, and he was riding his bike on the roof.
What?
On the roof. I don't know why I said it so weird. He fell off. And he landed right on one of my grandma's yucca plants. And he got a yucca branch or leaf all the way
Whoa.
from right here all the way up, and it popped out of his wrist.
That's insane.
Yeah. Those
Yeah,
things
so
are
yucca
mean.
plants, if you guys are Googling it, they're real pointy, right? They're get bigger at the bottom, and then they come to a real fine, and the point
Mhm.
hurts like an SOB.
Oh, man.
So I can imagine,
Yeah.
dude, going all over in your arm.
They're beautiful plants, and they actually make some pretty crazy tequila.
That's a good point, yeah.
Who was the first person to look at that and be like, you know what? I'm gonna make that into some
Yeah.
liquor.
Think about anything, though, man.
Mhm.
Some of the random things we have, people are just like, you know what? Yep, that looks like it would taste real good.
Yeah.
It's gonna,
No, it's
that's
crazy.
gonna get me hammered.
Mm-hmm.
Whose idea was this?
Like birds. Eating a bird is the weird. A turkey. You look at a turkey like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have you every year around
Yeah,
November
no joke,
time.
You look mighty delicious.
You look delish. Or fish. Who, in their right mind, would eat a fish? Birds are more understandable than a fish. You look at a fish like, you're not going anywhere near my mouth of that shit.
Yeah.
Or an octopus.
And they come to find out it's so delicious.
Yeah, they're delicious.
What about those fish that kill you? Like, who was the first guy that was like, oh, yep, I'm eating this little bastard.
Oh, pufferfish?
And then they eat it and then they die.
It's still a thing.
They still eat it, dude.
Yeah.
But who was the first guy? I mean, how many guys do they have to go through before they realized?
Oh, figured out how to like.
how to cut it properly.
Yeah. That's weird.
Think about it,
I
dude.
thought about that like a month ago, and I was like, let's get rid of that fish. Let's stop
Yeah.
eating that
Stop
one.
eating. But these guys just kept eating it until they figured out how to cook
Yeah.
it. Like,
That's
who
so
are they
stupid.
feeding this thing to?
Like,
dude?
how many people have to die to figure out, like,
Yeah.
is it that good? You're like, oh, this is the best fish.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go try it. I don't know. I'm scared to try
I'm
it,
not
dude.
going to try.
That guy just says having an off day and he cuts it
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah.
And
They're
you're
pissed
dead.
off. Stupid
Yeah.
Americans.
Pretty much.
Like, oh, can't blame me. It's a fish. I didn't kill him.
Yeah.
It's a fish.
Oh, that's back to what we were talking about with the opioids. Can't blame him, dude.
Can't blame the doctor.
Well, you can blame the drug dealer.
Yeah, you can blame the drug dealer, but not the doctor. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
And they pump them out just as much, if not more, than drug
Yeah, well,
dealers.
yeah, by far they got to.
That's man, we need to go to what Portugal's doing with the drug problem.
Oh, where everything's illegal.
Everything not
Like not everything.
not legal, but decriminalized.
There you go. Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, we found meth in your car. Now you're going to jail. Now you have a criminal record. Now not only are you a drug addict, but now you have a criminal rap sheet.
Yeah.
Now life is exponentially harder for you. Now, if you got rid of that, you're like, oh, we found drugs in your car. Well, we're taking these. We're going to, you should probably go seek help.
Yeah.
That's, instead of spending all the millions or billions, I don't know, I'd have to look into it. However much money we're spending on the drug war, we should take that and spend it on free rehab and homeless shelters. I'm just saying, that would be way better than the war on drugs. People are just dying left and right. Nothing's.
not getting
Operation
anywhere.
Fast and Furious was the biggest FU to the American taxpayer I have heard of in years. I think it was the FBI got these guns and put Radio Shack batteries in these tracking devices in these guns. They died in like 6 hours. And so the cartels got all these badass guns courtesies of the FBI.
Yeah.
It's like, wow. And we paid for that.
I was gonna say, yeah, that came out of someone's pocket.
I wonder how many Americans died because of that.
Yeah, no joke. Oh yeah, they made a circle and they came back.
Oh, they definitely did.
Yeah, yeah.
They probably did. Is they probably sold it back to American.
Yeah, no shit. We
Games.
probably bought them, dude.
Yeah.
Came right back.
Yeah.
That's another crazy thing where you see people. What's that? It's a movie on. There's a bunch of books too, but where those guys go in behind a war, buy up all the weapons, everything, and then they resell it. Arms dealers. But there's a
War
technical
dogs?
term for it.
Oh man. Gun runners. Scum.
This is like a Pictionary game right now.
Yeah, no, those guys. It was what Tony Stark was before he got kidnapped in the first movie and went against it.
Yeah.
I don't know what the actual name is, but the gun runners. They buy guns, sell guns, whatnot.
Yeah.
Those guys. That's insane that's not all that illegal.
It's actually not.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I figured those people would be, complete criminals.
Yeah.
They're not.
No. It's insane that they're able to get away with that. If you're an umbrella salesman, you need it to rain.
Yeah. I don't know though, dude. They're making a lot of money.
Making a way lot of money.
Way a lot of money.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I wouldn't do it. There's money involved.
I think renting drugs would be a better solution than renting guns.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Because if somebody dies, that's their own damn fault. Retard. Don't smoke that much.
Yeah.
Whatever.
You snorted all that shit, not me. It's gonna be like when you're in an airplane, dude. Do one run. Podcast over, dude. We're done. We're millionaires. Sorry, guys. See you later.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that word that I just said, which is offensive to some people, but it's retard. I just saw a video last night of this handicapped kid with a mental disability. He has Down syndrome, being abused by his babysitters while his parents are off on vacation here in Farmington.
Where they're making him smoke?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's insane. I seen that, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see they both? This is an older video. It came out in June originally, and they both got prosecuted.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
A lot of people were turning it in to the police department locally here, and they were saying, "Hey, man, you guys do something about this,
Yeah.
And then finally, the police department had to release a statement saying, "Hey, they've already been prosecuted. They have pending. It's going through court right now, so they haven't been convicted of anything yet.
Yeah.
But it's in the process. So
that's insane. Did you see the other video of them throwing that 5-gallon water bottle at his head?
No.
Yeah, he's sitting there. They call his name, and he looks up, and they throw it. It's one of those big ones that you put upside down.
Oh,
in offices.
yeah.
Dong. You're like, what? You need to be beaten.
Yeah, that's just
life.
not right, dude.
One, it's a kid.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to do that to a kid.
Yeah.
And since I read that book, Tribe, I've been I get more defensive about.
Oh yeah, I've always
children.
been like that with people that can't defend themselves.
Yeah, like he's my tribe.
Yeah.
That's part of my tribe. You're messing with my tribe.
Yeah.
It makes me so mad. You shouldn't be able to do that.
You shouldn't be able to do that.
And
No.
then it makes it all the more worse because he doesn't understand why he's
No,
being
he don't
harmed.
even know. Yeah.
And then he can't talk right, so he wasn't able to tell his parents how he was being
That's
abused.
such a. Oh man, dude, you just would like to get a hold of some of these people and beat you live in,
And that's with the whole socialism thing. Like, you have to trust that people are good. Really?
Yeah, really. Did you see that right there? Did you witness what I just watched?
I'm not saying that they're evil, but I'm saying that they're not good people.
Yeah.
They definitely are bad people.
How do
they
you
could
do that, dude? How do you bring yourself to do that to a person?
That's insane.
Let alone a full-grown man, dude, or whatever.
Yeah.
But first of all, it's a kid, and then they have a mental disability.
Yeah.
How in the? Oh, dude, that makes your blood boil, dude. That'll piss you off.
Yeah, that got me super mad last night. I'm like, all right. And then I was hearing that Facebook was taking those videos down of people reposting it.
Oh, really?
I think it was because of the algorithm. I think Facebook wasn't like, who cares about this mentally handicapped?
Yeah.
But I think they saw weed and was like, nah, let's pass that.
Yeah.
Oh, that was violent. Oh, let's shut that down. I don't think it was anybody particular shutting it down. But
it's just part of their
the algorithm to keep Facebook safe. But yeah, the Farmington PD actually had a reposted on Facebook. And
really?
They retweeted it, or not retweeted it, whatever.
Whatever's still in the Facebook world.
I don't have a Facebook anymore. But yeah, no, I'm glad. I didn't know that they were getting prosecuted.
Yeah, I seen that.
Oh, speaking of craziness, school shooting training camp.
Whoa, that is an insane
Yeah.
thing, dude.
Was it in Taos? Or,
Yeah, right outside of Taos.
Yeah.
Taos County, but Taos is also a city in New Mexico.
Yeah, 3 people.
5 altogether.
Yeah, 3 of those 5 got all charges dropped.
Yeah, they do that.
That is
That was
insane.
insane. And they're trying to say, I don't know, dude. I think it's a crock of crap, but they're trying to say that whoever's the prosecutors are didn't do it in enough time, so legally they had all the charges dropped.
And another sketchy thing about it is, I think this might be government, because go try to find that training camp.
Oh, dude, it got destroyed.
They covered it up.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yep.
I seen the pictures after the fact. I was like, all right, why
Yep.
would you do that?
Some up and coming news reporter, he's just trying to make it big. He was walking out there. He's like, look at all this evidence. Look at all
Yeah.
this. And they're just gonna bury it as they're
Well,
doing it. Like he's out
They
there.
were letting most of those crime scenes, dude. They're quarantined off or whatever, and you're not allowed on there. No matter who you are, press or not, dude. This is an active crime scene. You're not allowed here. That
Yep.
thing never got closed down, dude.
Nope.
Me and you could walk out there right
Yep.
now and go right in there and dig for whatever
Yep.
we want to dig. There's nobody watching it. It's
Yep.
not blocked off. It's just open.
Yeah, like what I was saying, during that video, in the background, bulldozers were bulldozing stuff. He was on the crime scene.
That is insane.
But it's crazy that they're dropped those charges. No, that is insane that you're able to do that.
Yeah.
At least have all of the charges that are going to the other 2 people, make those 3 people accessories to every single one of
Yeah.
them.
Well, actually, something else did pop back up.
Okay, good.
Now, so that's a local thing, state. I don't know exactly how it works, but that was a state thing that they were originally being prosecuted under. Well, they dropped it all, so now federal or however it works said no, screw you guys. New Mexico wants to not, take care of this. They stepped in and charged them for some other, whether it's a loophole or not, whatever they did, they ended up finding more charges against them. So now it's on a federal level.
That's crazy. You know what else is crazy is how when the feds decide to step in. So the guy who created the 3D print gun, the
Yeah.
federal government told him, no, you're not allowed to sell that. You can make ghost guns. There's YouTube videos of you
Yeah, well,
making
yeah.
ghost guns. You just buy the parts and then you just bore them out yourself.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing. That
It
is
is.
the same
What's the
thing,
difference?
and that's legal. So they told him no, and he said, okay, now the schematics are a penny, but you can pay me more if you want. He said, I don't care. What I'm doing isn't illegal.
Yeah.
It'd make it easier for terrorists to get. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to
You
hear
guys
that.
are giving them guns. What are you talking about?
Blows me. Yeah, exactly. You're giving them guns. It makes it easier for terrorists and criminals to get guns.
Well, it's
No,
like the
it
criminal
doesn't.
thing, dude. You have to legally get a gun. If we make it harder for them to get it, they're not gonna get it. Oh, they're gonna get it, dude. No
Yeah,
matter
they're
what.
gonna get it. Well, here in New Mexico, you don't have to register your guns.
Yeah.
That's the
true.
law here. So it's
Yeah.
like, well,
You still have to go through the background process of it or whatever.
mhm.
But that
Yeah.
doesn't mean I can't go right down, get on Craigslist, and find anything I want,
yeah,
and I don't have to take no background. Even if I was in a city or a state that registered it, it wouldn't matter.
that what blows me away. What blows me away is the Constitution says the right to bear arms will not be infringed. There are whole cities and states where it's almost illegal to own a gun.
Yeah.
Like,
Chicago.
excuse me? The reason why we have guns is the reason why we became a country.
Yeah.
Blows me away. And the reason why a lot of these countries were afraid to invade was because every American supposedly had a gun. There's a Japanese general, or the emperor said, behind every blade of grass there's a gun.
Is a gun. Yeah.
He's referring to the United States. I don't want to say it's true, but try it, Japan.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I love how this just segues and segues and segues. But a lot of people are upset that the United States dropped the nuclear weapons on Japan, which I am too. But they say it because Japan was about to give in and quit. Were they?
How do they know that?
Were they really? Because I I went to Saipan, that is famous for the suicide and bonsai cliff.
Oh, I
Is it
never
bonsai,
heard of that.
is it bonsai cliff or suicide ridge or suicide cliff, where these Japanese would rather kill themselves than be captured by the Americans. They would climb down into the caves of the side of the mountain, and they would hide in there. And they ended up killing their babies because the babies would cry, and they were afraid that the Americans would hear them.
As screwed up as that is, that's dedication to the cause right there.
Yeah, that's proof in the pudding, right? I hate that I say that. Stop saying that. Proof right there that they were not willing to give up so easily as
No.
people make it out to be. Was it wrong that we vaporized hundreds of thousands of people? Yeah, it's true. But also, ended the war faster.
That's true.
Yeah.
Warfare is not a pretty thing either way, so I don't understand why people are complaining.
You know, it's crazy. The guy who invented the gas for World War One to kill enemies was, oh no, what was it? It was used to get nitrogen out of the air to help farm, but was also awesome at killing people. So not only was that guy getting the Nobel Award, not peace, or it was like one of the scientific awards, but he was also getting prosecuted for crimes against humanity at the same time.
That's insane.
For
I
what
never
he
heard
did
that.
for and against the human race. But it's crazy that, like, okay, you're dropping these 15,000 pound arty shells on people, but no, not gas. It's too good. Too good at killing people. You have to kill them hard.
It is crazy how you can get things that are inhumane in warfare. This is war that we are there to kill each other.
Yep.
At what point does it matter how we're killing each other?
Mhm. Yeah. Shotguns are against the Geneva Convention,
Yeah.
but we get around it with this badass loophole that say that it's a door opener.
Yeah, it's good for breaching.
Yeah, good for breaching.
That guy just happened to be standing there once I got in.
Yeah, but you're not going to drop your gun and pull out your M16
Yeah.
or M4, whatever time
How the
period you're
hell
talking
did
about.
that become?
Oh, it's too gruesome.
That's insane.
You're not allowed to stab people with a triangle blade. It's too hard to suture.
Yeah. We're at war, dude. We're
Flamethrowers are illegal.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That one I can see. But that's a
Flamethrowers,
fear
did you know
factor.
you can buy those?
It's not a projectile, so
Yeah.
you can buy it. I think you have to
Boeing.
be 18.
The Boeing? I think it's Boeing that
Boeing
makes them.
sells them.
Yeah.
Elon Musk with his boring project
Oh,
sells them.
boring, not
Yeah.
Boeing. What am I thinking?
Boring.
Boeing. It's boring. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Speaking
they're
of,
actually relatively cheap.
really?
Yeah, considering they're only like $1,000 or something like that.
That's way cheap
Yeah.
for a flamethrower.
I was like, oh, I'm buying one. I gotta
Yeah,
have one.
that's
I don't
awesome.
know what I'm gonna do with it.
They're constantly being
but
sold
they're
out.
sold out.
Yeah, they're constantly being sold out.
They're so hard to get right now.
But Boeing, their hangar where they build the airplanes is so big that they have an atmosphere in the
Whoa,
warehouse
are
or
you
whatever.
serious?
Yeah, it's right outside of Seattle, and whenever I was stationed up there, I drove past it a few times. Like, that building is massive. Like, you see the 747s outside, like that's a puddle jumper. That thing is tiny compared to
To
that.
the building?
Yeah.
Whoa.
hmm And I didn't know
That's
this.
insane.
My grandpa told me this because he worked there way back in the day. But you signed your name on every piece of equipment that you touch or worked on. So if the plane crashes,
They can pin it back to
yeah,
whoever.
like, hey, John, what's up with this wing piece here, huh? You can't have bad days when you're dealing with aircraft, dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really weird. There's my great grandpa, my grandpa, my dad, and me have all lived in that same area in Washington.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Right
in
there next
Washington.
to the plane, huh?
Yeah, at different times, obviously. but
Yeah.
My dad was only there for like a year. They lived in Everett, and then my grandpa would drive all the way from Everett, which is north of Seattle. Or was it Everett? Some town north of Everett or Seattle. Drive through Seattle, past Seattle, to go to Boeing. It was crazy. It was a long drive.
That's a long drive.
Yeah, that's a pretty place. You got to visit it sometime.
Seattle?
Oh yeah, way different vibe than Albuquerque.
Really?
Big city, but you can walk everywhere. Everything's within walking distance, and it's better that you walk. You'll find stuff. I visited Seattle hundreds of times. Okay, maybe not that many times, but a bunch of times. And every single time I went there, I saw something new.
Really?
There's so much street art
Hmm.
there. It's a pretty sweet state. I really like Washington. If I had to move somewhere, it'd probably be Washington.
Huh?
Yep.
Hmm.
I have been to Forks. Nope.
Forks?
You know the Twilight series?
Yeah.
That's where it's based out of, is Forks,
Where's that at?
Washington.
Is it in Washington?
Mm-hmm. Been there. It's not where it was filmed. There's
Oh, really?
one stoplight. Yeah. Yeah. There's a huge hotel there that's like running down because they thought they were going to have a huge influx of
Because of Twilight
tourists.
people?
No.
That's insane.
The coolest thing there is like this really old train, but it's not that cool because we have the Polar Express in Durango.
Yeah. So compared to that,
And you're like, okay, I've seen that before 100 times.
some of those places are crazy where they got all them tourism, and then it's just you get there and it's like there's nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
What you ever been to Roswell, New Mexico, with the aliens?
Yes, I have. Yep.
Weird place, dude.
Mhm.
It's like you think it would be some massive place, and then you get in there and it's
Kind of looks like
still
Farmington.
very small.
Yeah.
And then you go to like the little museums, and it's just I don't know, dude. I
Yeah.
can't get into it.
Yeah. No, it's not that interesting there.
By far, it's not.
That has a name. It's called the Paris effect. And it happens mainly, well, I shouldn't say it. I'm not going to say it. But it happened because a lot of Chinese people would go and visit Paris and they'd get super depressed because it's not what they thought it was.
Yeah. There's a lot of places like that.
Mhm.
That was one of them for me. I
Yeah.
was like, oh yeah, man, I'm gonna go
Mhm.
discover aliens. You know, you got in your mind you're gonna find
Yeah.
something cool there. Then you get there and you're like, are you
Yeah.
freaking kidding me? This is it?
I think the only place that I thought up in my mind and was as badass as what I thought it was Amsterdam.
Oh really?
Mm-hmm. If you ever watch Euro Trip,
Euro trip, yeah.
that's kind of like how Amsterdam was, but way cooler. Way cooler. Every
Wait.
night's a party night.
I'll be going to Amsterdam.
Dude, it's so badass there. $1,200 plane ticket to England, and then you can just get on a ferry. Oh, I say ferry, I mean boat, because the English Channel is huge. It's huge.
It's massive, huh?
Yeah. If you're in the middle of it, you can't see land.
Whoa, are you serious?
Mhm.
It's that big, huh?
Hmm. It's giant. A lot of people don't know that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, definitely visit Amsterdam. Everyone needs to visit Amsterdam.
Hmm.
I visited it when I was in the military, so I got to look at a lot of cool stuff that I wanted to do.
But couldn't actually do it.
Window shopping. Yeah. NCIS likes to F over the boys in uniform, you know. Oh, you wanted to have a little hanky-panky overseas, huh? You're now going to jail for prostitution or whatever it is. It's ridiculous.
Amsterdam, dude.
Yeah, that's one thing that I can never wrap my mind around is how prostitution is illegal. So you're saying that a woman can kill a baby before it's born, but can't loan her body out for however long for money.
Yeah, how did that become illegal?
Mhm.
And why? For what reason?
It is none of our business what a woman does with her body, except for have sex for money.
That's a good point.
And I think it's illegal. I know it's illegal because it's not. You can't regulate it. You simply cannot regulate it.
What do you mean?
I can go next door and be like, hey,
Here's
$20.
$100.
Yeah, $100, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Walk in, have a good time. Who's gonna catch you?
Yeah. It's true.
And the government likes
Can't get in on
their
it.
money.
Yeah.
Likes their money. But
You could make it have like establishments.
yeah, that's the thing. Like,
The
okay,
bunny ranch.
if you look at it like Colorado and Washington and the other states that legalize marijuana, I'm pretty sure the crime for drug,
Yeah, your little local, marijuana dealers are
yeah,
pretty much gone.
drug
from-
dealers, yeah. So if you're to like have a bunny dealership, a bunny ranch in every city or every state or every other city or whatever,
Your little guys are going
Yeah.
to be pushed out.
prostitution's gonna
Yeah.
go down.
Can you imagine that, dude?
Mhm.
Oh, yep. I'm gonna go down to the local whatever.
Yeah,
That's weird to think about because it is illegal. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Something you're not used to.
That's just the difference between our culture and other cultures.
Yeah.
We're so puritanical with our beliefs. You couldn't imagine a prostitution or a brothel here, even though
Yeah.
there was. That's the thing. Way back in the day, during the 1800s, they're legal, in a sense,
That's true. Yeah.
when it was way more religious. So it's kind of weird.
It's kind of weird.
I
That's
wonder
a
how
weird
that.
thought.
I wonder
How does
how
that
that
work?
was. Or they're illegal and there's just not enough guys to go around and shutting them down.
Yeah, it could be too.
That could have been it.
Who knows?
I don't know. I'm just saying. I don't understand why it's illegal. Is it gross? Yeah. But hey, man, ain't no rest for the wicked.
Like I say, to each his own, dude.
Yeah, to each his own. Money doesn't grow on trees. If that.
Well, whatever floats your boat, man. If that's
Yeah.
what you're into, that's what you're
That's
into.
it. Yeah.
What's the difference in that or stripping? Obviously, there's a
Yeah.
little bit of a difference there, but
That's a fine line.
there's
super fine
What's
line.
the difference?
I was talking to my girlfriend about this the other night. So you can go to a massage parlor, and from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet, you can have rubbed, and it feels good, but not here if you're a woman, and not down there if you're a man or a woman,
Yeah.
whatever. No pee-pee touch, no booby touch. That's illegal. But from here to here, other than those no-no squares,
Yeah. It's all fair game.
fair game. What?
Yeah, it's
How
kind
is
of
that
random.
illegal?
How does that work?
That doesn't make any sense. It's giving somebody pleasure.
That's true, yeah.
Like, that's so weird that it's like, I don't know. That's wrong.
Yeah.
I think prostitution should be legal and very, 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 very well regulated.
Oh, yeah, you can regulate it.
Every
There's a way.
every week, they have to. It's spread diseases, but still, you have to get. They should make it. You have to get tested every week, and then obviously there's an establishment, so that's where you do your prostitution at.
Yeah, you don't do it outside of that.
Yeah. I mean, are you gonna stop it? No. But are you ever gonna stop drugs? No. Are you ever gonna stop
That's true.
illegal gun running? No.
Yeah.
There's no way to stop whatever you don't want to happen until we can control people's behaviors, and you can't.
You're not going to be able to do that.
No.
That'd be a weird day when you can, though.
Yeah, I'll be. dead
Yeah,
and
I'd
gone
say
before
I'm not
that.
going to be here. I always tell everybody I'm not going to make it to 40.
Yeah. One thing that I've been against for a really long time is virtual reality. Now, I think it's cool. I appreciate it, but I think we need to not be in it. We're already bad with phones in 2D space. Could you imagine a fake world that you can walk around and enjoy?
Yeah,
It's like
do whatever you want, however you want.
people are going to get sucked into that so hard.
Oh, they already are to a point.
Yeah. In Japan, they have a way to have sex with like this setup. You stick your phallic shape, your phallus, into the thing, and it's like having sex. In
That's a weird word.
phallus. But I love that word
The phallus.
because it's so wrong, but you sound
Way sophisticated.
But people are getting sucked into that. Like,
Yeah.
what is going on? But an interesting topic to that is if you're to have a virtual reality person have sex with them, is that cheating? 'Cause they're not real.
You can't. I would say yeah in the beginning, and then
Mhm.
once you start breaking it down,
No.
it's like we're talking about porn.
Mm-hmm.
Is that cheating?
I don't think it's cheating.
Yeah. So what's the difference?
Because, okay, so eventually it gets to where it's so real that it's like literally having sex with another person. But as soon as you hit that switch, they're gone.
I don't know, man. That's a fine line, dude.
They're no more. They don't exist in this universe. In this space, they're non-existent. Turn them on, boom, they're back. them off. So it's not like you're having like a relationship.
So if I go a little different, but I go find a girl, rape her, kill her, she's gone.
That's
It's
way
way different. It's way different, but it's
that's an interesting point to that.
Still, if that's not there, then
yeah. But I think it's more okay in that sense because it's not like a real thing in our eyes, anyways.
Yeah.
It's just a robot. But that's
people
interesting.
take that really to the heart, though, man. Look at these people that fall in love with like series and shit stuff. They think they're having you know what I mean, full-on conversations with a computer, and in their mind, they're in love with that.
That's very true.
It's fake.
There's a woman who's actually married to the Eiffel Tower.
There you go. Yeah. In their mind, they're fully believe, like that lady. She fully believes she's married to that, to the Eiffel Tower.
That's one way to look at it. But let's just keep it to like a normal couple. Just a normal thing. Like, okay, so he orders a virtual reality woman. Okay, she's not real. She doesn't have any real thoughts. Is that cheating? Because it's like, well, they're not a real person. You're not having a real relationship with them.
Yeah.
And it's purely carnal. Which I would say if you're going out and having sex with just some random stranger and it's purely carnal, that's cheating. I think I draw the line at it being a real person.
Real or fake.
Not a real person. Because that person goes on with their life knowing that they have had sex with that person.
Yeah.
That robot, off, gone forever.
That's true.
Never have to push that button again.
Yeah.
Turn it on, doesn't remember what just happened.
Still don't know if I could do it, though.
Yeah. It's weird. Because if it's so realistic.
Yeah, obviously they're going to be really realistic. So you do it, right? You go and do it. Whatever. It's all cool, right? Well, how do you feel about your other half doing it?
That's the thing.
I'm like, hell no, don't fucking get the hell out of here.
Yeah, I think it would have to, because I don't have a problem with my girlfriend watching porn. She said she doesn't, but I don't know.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking about
that thing.
Doing that virtual reality thing.
So I think I'm more on the side of like, I don't care that much, depending. Because if it's like intimate sex, like she wants to be intimate with this thing and like feel.
Which you know eventually they're going to want to.
Yeah, which well, that's true, but that's for us, you know. If you have that weird thing that you like, but you're either afraid, which you shouldn't be afraid to ask. That should be a normal part of your relationship. Just ask if you're into that weird stuff.
Yeah.
But if you're into the weird stuff, you ask. The other person's like, nah, I'm not really comfortable with it. You're like, okay, well, I'm not going to burden you with this new thing. I'm just going to go, this fake person.
Yeah.
And then boom, off. No memory, no recollection. Just
what
off.
happens when they started getting attached to it?
That's the thing, because it'd be so realistic.
Yeah, it's going to be so realistic, and then now they're getting intimate with this thing, and now is it going to turn into like the lady with the Eiffel Tower? Are they going to be in love with this imaginary Fabio? In their mind, he's real. Right? In their mind, they're in love with this guy because he's so intimate. Yeah,
that's an interesting thing. I feel like they would have to keep it from getting to that point. I feel like.
How do you do that?
Yeah, that would be.
That's what the problem with virtual reality now. Outside of the whole porn thing, it's not going to stop.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, it's fun and games right now, but eventually it's going to go and go and go, and then people are going to be, like you're talking about, with the phones. They're going to be in this other world, and they're not even going to be in tune with reality.
I saw a meme, and it was funny. I laughed out loud. It was a picture of a guy at work looking into a computer at work and saying, I hate looking at bad screen. Like, it was... hate bad screen, and then it shows him at home on his laptop, love good screen, or something like that. And it was saying like we go from screen to screen to screen to screen.
Yeah.
Like, okay, on my laptop, I'll literally do this. Happens all the time. We'll be watching The Office on Netflix while I'm playing The Witcher on my PC, and then I'll pause The Witcher, get on my phone, go to Instagram, and check Instagram.
That's true.
Screen to screen to screen.
Yeah,
we're
you're
obsessed.
out of reality.
Yeah, we're obsessed with being stimulated.
And virtual reality is going to make it worse.
And virtual
By
reality
far.
is going to make it way
Yeah.
worse. Why move when you can just sit there on your couch and just...
You ever watch the movie Wall-E
Yes.
cartoon?
Yes.
Them people on them wheelchairs, dude, cruising around.
Yeah.
That's where we're going.
That is actually what made me terrified of VR. Because that's 100% going to happen.
It's exactly what's going to happen.
You
That kid
see it.
falls out of that wheelchair, and whoa, we got a
Yeah.
pool? Like,
Yeah.
nobody has a clue what's going on around them.
Yeah.
They just
Oh,
know what's
no,
in
pool.
their little
Yeah.
vision.
Exactly. We see it today. There's a South Park episode making fun of PC gamers. It's like this dude who has carpal tunnel, so he has one of those wrist things on both his hands. And he's just a giant dude with zits, and it's like trash all over his computer desk because he doesn't move.
Yeah.
It's like, well, that is 2 steps away from virtual reality guy.
Oh, yeah.
There's a movie called Surrogates. I remember the name. I want to watch it. It has Bruce Willis and some other big names, I think. And it's about pretty much that. People are so afraid of their self-image that they send robots out into the real world. And people who are actually
On their behalf?
Yeah,
Whoa.
well, they sit there, they matrix it, they hook up to the system, and they're seen through their robot, through their surrogate. They're walking around as this robot looking all sexy and whatnot, or badass, or whatever they want. They buy these robots, doll them up, and then they send them out. And this is me. This is who I am.
That's crazy.
Bruce Willis refuses to do it. He refuses to get into that because it's like, it's fake. It's not real.
Yeah.
I'm right behind you, man. We need to stop this. I mean, is it cool that we have VR? Yeah. Stop advancing that technology. Go somewhere else with the technology.
Yeah.
Stop right there. Make it goggles. Don't make it portable. It's already portable, but don't make it portable.
Yeah.
Reverse that technology. Bring that one back. Stop selling that. Because
You know the worst part is it's all too late, man.
oh, it's way too late.
It's going, dude. It's gone.
too late.
It's too late. It's already.
Mhm.
Let's wait another year, dude, and have this conversation again, or it's gonna be just like we were talking about, man.
Yep.
If that, if even a year.
Yeah, I don't even think it would be a year. I mean, if you...
At the rate we're
crazy.
going now.
Yeah. Well, my thing is, I understand human behavior to an extent. I don't have a PhD in it, but I know humans aren't in their base evil, but in their base are very self-serving. And you can see that today with the government sapping money. They're leeches sapping all the money out. Now, if you hook your brain up to a computer and that computer can be hacked, what do you think the government's going to do? They're going to hack your behavior.
Yeah. Oh, that's true.
So it's like, I would be
It's a
way
fine
down.
line.
Yeah, I'd be way down for it if you could trust the people who are around you. But you really can't because everyone's generally self-serving. There are some
yeah.
selfless people out there, but
They're gonna do what's good for themselves.
yeah, start
Bottom
starving
line.
people. They're self-serving,
Yeah.
which goes back to our other topic about cannibalism.
Yeah. Eating people.
Self-serving. They're not evil. They're self-serving. Can
Yeah.
you blame them though? Because they want to
Well,
survive.
in that talking to myself over here. In that circumstance, yeah, dude, they're just trying to survive. How
Yeah.
do you blame them?
Yeah. Just trying to.
What do you do?
Can't blame them. You do the same thing.
Yeah.
And then there's another. I don't know who said it, but almost 100% chance that if you're in the same position as these men, you would become a Nazi. Become a
Yeah.
Nazi or die.
Yeah.
Try. Good luck moving out because a lot of countries around were kicking people out. Jews were flooding. Jewish people were flooding to the United States, and we're like, can't take you. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's like, what? The free country. Bring me your weak or poor or whatever our slogan is.
Yeah.
We're like, nope, get out of here.
We have a slogan.
America. Yeah, so. Yeah. How long have we been talking?
We're over 2 hours.
Ready to wrap
We're on
it
a
up?
roll. Yeah, might as well. Good podcast.
Yeah.
Save our other thoughts for a later date.
Yeah. All right, well. Till
Till
next time.
next time.